I don't consider Destiny to be like an honest actor. Abusing copyright for.
Do you know, are you so retarded that you can't tell the difference?
The idea of reaction content continuing to be accepted on these platforms.
Wrong! Oh, Mutahar, stop. Oh, we're fighting.
You're already here.
Every YouTuber today. Yeah, bring him in. All right.
Yeah, I texted Muda. I said, get in there.
Good. Yeah, bring the rest of them.
Go
Go ahead.
Okay. Go ahead, Muda. I'll let you go first since you kicked off this whole debacle. It's your fault.
We were talking about DMCA. That's what I said in the chat. I think.
Is it even beneficial to have people reacting to your videos? Or will it harm your channel? In my case, the numbers revealed a really interesting fact relating to ratios. No, not that kind. After I released my first Riot MMO video, it decently quickly hit 1 million views, after which it stopped and then it slowly crept up close to 2 millions. And during that initial burst of views as other people reacted to it, the viewer ratios stayed consistent. For example, Soda Poppin's reaction got about 50% of the original video. This became true for both the first video and the second video. S-Fan stayed consistently around 17%, and Asmongold stayed slightly below 3 times the original views, because that's just the kind of content he does. But these ratios also stayed the same when I was talking about Ghostcrawler leaving. No matter the success of the original video, the reactions always stayed consistent with the ratios relating to their own audiences. This taught me that, at least in my case, there was no way the reactions could be taking views from me. Because if this was the case, if the reactions were taking views from me, then after the new audience learned about my videos, and if you mirror that after my audience learned about the reactions, then over time, as I released more videos, people would have to avoid my videos and wait for the reactions to come out. Or in other words, my views would have to go down and the other views would have to go up. But that didn't happen, there was no funneling of viewers and everything stayed the same. And that's for a very obvious reason. The viewers watch people reacting for the person who's reacting, not for the original video. They may be interested in the topics, that's why sometimes better topics drive more views, but they mostly still don't care about the individual videos. With that said, sometimes the viewers care about the original video. And when that overlap happens, that's when you get people mad that you are constantly pausing the videos. So let's not say that it never happens. It's just that most of the time, the viewers are watching the person, not the video. And in most cases, without that person, they wouldn't even know that video existed. To put it differently, if I release a video that presents information about a video game, either people decide to watch it because they are interested in the information, or they wait and watch it for the reaction because they are interested in that reaction, not necessarily the raw information. In this case, I wouldn't be losing viewers because those viewers were not likely to watch my video in the first place. The cases where people are interested in the original video and they still wait for the reactions are very rare. And it only ever happens if the audience of the original video and of the reaction dip into each other. Did reactions harm my videos? No, they absolutely did not. And if they did, the quote-unquote stolen views would be in single-digit percentages. Which I am totally fine with, because people don't realize that reactions also have some benefits. Besides the fact that sponsored videos will be better. For example, I put a Manscaped sponsorship into one of my 100k videos, which got later grabbed by other creators, and together they all multiplied the views 6 times. So they gave the sponsors just a bunch of free value. But there are also other hidden benefits. And although these benefits don't immediately reflect on the channel, from the long-term perspective, they are irreplaceable. Every time someone picks up your video, it spreads awareness about you.
What the hell sparked this all back up again? I have no idea. It's just like, right now, I think in the zeitgeist of online content, I think attacking streamers is like popular for a variety of reasons. Some good, some retarded. People are saying the Lemmino video, that guy didn't complain though, unless I missed it. It's other people getting offended on his behalf. So it was a Twitter screenshot of xQc And Hasan thumbnails where they react to the Lemmino video that went viral. Gotcha. This is the original tweet that started it all. All right. The very first thing, okay? People have absolutely no concept of scale, okay? If there would have been a ring uncovered where Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton were serially raping 50 different children versus like this React thing, the response is about the same. There are unhinged levels of like, I can't believe in this. I can't believe it's like, bro, okay? So number one, calm the down, okay? Holy shit. Number two, that feeds into number one, is this is such an unbelievably minor issue. I cannot believe, well, I can, but let me rephrase that. It is so insanely stupid that people are so mad about it. Like, the way that it reads is like a massive scandal of like people are robbing each other, somebody's getting scammed out of a contract, people are getting sexually assaulted and it's covered up. It's not that. And then number two, the problem is just incredibly minor, okay? Going back to the problem itself, it seems like this is the only sane and reasonable take I think that you can have, okay? If somebody puts in a whole bunch of work for a video and then somebody else watches that video and they get a ton of money off of just watching somebody else's work, that can feel kind of shitty, especially if the main creator isn't compensated for it. That is the start and stop of all the reasonable takes, okay? With a little bit of an addendum on the end where I can see there being a particularly nefarious type of React where somebody uploads a video and then within an hour, another large creator reacts to it and then re-uploads it on Twitter, and they're actually eating away at the impressions, right? Those two, that is the only reasonable take in all of this. How this gets blown all the way out into all of these other unimaginably fucking stupid, like, they're destroying small channels and blah, 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 is like unfathomably stupid, okay? I think that at the heart of this take, actually, I know this. This is where I have to go with my gut too, because you guys are retarded. At the heart of this, I think that people are just really mad that there are a group of people, React streamers, that make a ton of money off of a relatively small amount of work, okay? That's like the center part of all of this anger. Now, because of that anger, it causes people to have takes that are totally, like, retardedly not mapping onto reality whatsoever. Would you talk to DarkViperAU? Maybe if he wants to. Chances are he wouldn't want to talk to me, and the conversation probably wouldn't be productive. That guy is, like, on a crusade for this type of shit. But I saw the tweets before, and that guy is, yeah. I think that people are upset that streamers are able to react to things and get, like, a lot of money off of it for a relatively small amount of work, which is, I think, fair.
What?
True, but it's a reasonable anger. Streamers are mostly talentless hacks. So the reality is there are a different basket of talents. Ordinarily, I would jump on you. I'm having one of those moments. Here's the moment that I'm having. I'm having a moment where America's got a lot of problems, and I hate America, and I'll shit on America, and I'll talk about all the issues we got. But when a European shows up, I bring out my goddamn revolutionary flag, and I represent this country, okay? Ordinarily, I'll shit on streamers. I shit on streamers more than anyone else you'll ever find, okay? Because streamers are talentless hacks. I do agree with that, okay? But today, I'm going to take a stronger, more realistic position. Realistically, streamers are not talentless hacks. They just have particular talents around doing live content. Not everybody can do that. Your favorite YouTuber that produces really high quality content for YouTube probably sounds like an autistic retard if you put him in front of a camera without a script. I've demonstrated this at least 50 times by having debates with people that were supposedly informed on issues that they created essays about, where as soon as they were in front of another human being that knew what they were talking about, sounded like they were in 3rd grade. Like twice held back, okay? So the idea that streamers have no talent and YouTubers have all the talent is stupid. The reality is everybody has talents that let them do different things. Now, if you want to say that streamers don't work hard, that's fine. But when a lot of the YouTubers that you guys love make one video every 2 years and they're collecting monthly Patreon checks off of it, give me a break, okay? Let's chill. This motherfucker not working 8 hours a day for 6 months to produce a 1 hour video, okay? That's more work than some people put into like actual major length documentaries, okay? Like, calm down, okay? Slow down, all right? Let's just move on past that, okay? The idea that These particular creators are talentless hacks, and these particular creators are literally enshrined as the most artistic, hardworking, noble, blue class people that have ever existed. Okay, this is just not true. Everybody has different talents. Everybody's good at different things. Here is an underpinning to all of this that is also really important, okay? People are hung up on an idea that, as far as I'm aware, has never been proven. And that idea is that somehow, like, reactors are taking away from the views of the ordinary video producers, people that originally make the videos. I don't think that has ever been proven, ever. The fact that people are out here like making these claims and it just seems to be taken verbatim that, oh, like they're stealing views. Are they? Has that ever in the history of all? Because the only thing I've seen when people made videos on this are, some people say the bump is small to non-existent. I've never seen this claim that they're stealing views from anybody else, okay? I've never seen any data to support that. Maybe that is true, but if it is, nobody's proved that yet. Number two, another thing is people are, compare this to your ad block take? Yeah, I'll get into that later. These are also obvious. It's just like so obvious. But I think you guys are just incentivized to do the behavior that you like, and then that's it. You don't care. Which is funny because people accuse me of the same thing, even though I don't think my primary bread and butter content is React content. Not just like watching videos. Sometimes we do, but like I'm pretty sure that's more in Hasan's wheelhouse than mine. But okay. Another thing that people are saying is, a lot of people have this idea that if you're reacting to a video and you just watch it for the full hour, that's bad because you're taking away views from the original. But if it's transformative, that's good. If it's transformative, that's good. That line of thinking also doesn't make any sense, because if you watch a YouTube video and you long react to it, let's say there's a 30-minute video and you spend 3 hours reacting to it, you're also probably taking views from the original, because who's gonna watch the original after watching you do a 3-hour breakdown of the video? So that line of thinking doesn't make sense. Destiny seemed pretty eager to steel man the anti-react side when it was shit on Hasan time and he wasn't implicated as React Andy. First of all, I'm not even implicated as a React Andy here, number one. Number two, I don't think I shit on the React side. If you watch the video clip that we just watched, I don't think it was me on the React side. I just said that there are certain circumstances where I could see people getting upset about like, if you watch a video and you upload a React to it very quickly and you start eating impressions on YouTube. I don't even know if that happens, but I could see that. I could see that upsetting people. Here's the next point. Something else to keep in mind. There's generally not, for as widespread as like React content is, like on on Twitch or on stream sites or whatever. For as much as people are, got so many chats going. Yeah, true. I shouldn't be reading chats while I'm doing this. That clip starts with you saying the only exception would be as well. So the clip is you caveating that you take your actively given. Yeah, of course. Destiny, isn't it more like a few days? I remember August told your fan channels not to upload videos that he wants to upload within a few days. August, no. I don't understand you guys. Okay, let me explain. The issue there wasn't people taking videos and uploading them. The issue was uploading for the first time ever on YouTube stuff that had never been on YouTube before. It's not even remotely the same thing. The problem was people would clip things out of stream and then they throw it up on YouTube before my YouTube channel even had it on. It's not even remotely the same. Come on, you're actually retarded if you can't see the difference. That, I think you can legitimately eat into stuff too. If you could find a way to upload other people's stuff before it even got uploaded to YouTube, then yeah, that would be comparable there. Here are the two biggest things that I don't understand. Is one, where is the outcry from YouTubers whose content is being reacted to saying that it needs to stop because it's costing them? Okay, number one, that is not happening. I haven't seen it happen. Maybe they're all just really scared to say something, which is a narrative that people want to run with. And number two, if it's such a big deal that it's actually eating people's views, and everybody has an excuse for that, why not just DMCA the streamers then? And people keep saying online like, oh, the everybody would go and harass them and blah blah blah. Bro, are you watching the online communities, literally everybody is against the streamers here. I'm pretty sure you'd be a hero if you DMCA'd like a React streamer and took their shit down. I'm pretty sure every single person on YouTube would support you, unless the view is not as popular as it is. But like, people are saying things like, oh, you'd have to DMCA every single time it happens. No, you wouldn't. You literally DMCA once and nobody would react to your shit again. Trust me. If word got out that one dude DMCA'd somebody for reacting on their shit on stream or whatever, nobody would watch that guy shit again because I don't like DMCA'd. Destiny, didn't Alinity get shit on for years for striking PewDiePie? Alinity didn't strike PewDiePie because she was trying to protect her content. She was doing it to avoid criticism.
And you're just a crybaby. Can your chair do this?
Seriously? He just said that? I'm gonna copy strike this guy. Just for that word. Gonna copy strike him. Yo! Can we copy strike PewDiePie's latest video? Like right now?
If you don't even know the situations, I don't know why the you would even bring it up. Like, yeah, I noticed a lot of people bring it. What about that one time somebody DMC'd somebody and then they got in trouble for it? Usually that wasn't for actually copyright protections. Usually when people get mad at it, it's because people are trying to hide criticism. You guys comparing that is just an unbelievably stupid thing. How easy is it for smaller creators to DMCA? I don't even think you have to be a creator to DMCA. Or I think it helps if you can link to the original content. It's literally the algorithm, Destiny. I don't know why you're defending 60 minutes of no talk videos over. What are you talking about? The algorithm. What's that guy's name? Lemmino JFK? His video is the first one that comes up. Is this the algorithm getting fucked? You searched for Lemmino. JFK assassination. I don't know what I would have to search for to bring it up. Oh, here's this video. Is this the algorithm getting fucked? Wouldn't it affect recommendations rather than searches? I don't know, would it? Nobody's ever proven this before. Nobody's ever investigated this before, right? Like, there's literally just people run with this assumption. I don't even think it's true. But also, if it is, just DMCA them. If you don't want to stream react to your shit, or you don't even have to DMCA, you can literally say on Twitter, hey, don't watch my stuff anymore. I'm pretty sure somebody did this before with Hasan or somebody, where didn't somebody tweet out like, I don't want streamers watching my videos? People just don't do it because streamers probably don't want to get in trouble for it. Like, it's so easy. Okay, here's another thing. Oh God, there's just so many like half-baked takes. JCS might have done that, maybe, I don't remember. Somebody said, I think people equate it to getting paid in exposure and turn their brains off there. Okay. Going back to all the way to the getting paid in exposure, there is nothing wrong with getting paid in exposure. Sometimes exposure is the best form of payment. The reason why getting paid in exposure is a joke phrase is because usually the people that say you'll get paid in exposure have no exposure to give you. Getting paid in exposure is a joke when a friend asks you, do you want to come play for my wedding? And you're like, oh yeah, sure, like this is what we build. It's like, well, but like think of the exposure, like maybe other people at my wedding will have you play, right? So you should come do it. That's why getting paid in exposure is a joke. Even wealthy people, if somebody were to offer me, if Kanye West were to say, I want to do a podcast with you for 10 episodes, but I'm not going to pay you at all, but the exposure would be really good, I would do it. Of course I would do it. The exposure is hella worth. You can absolutely get paid in clout or exposure. It just depends on if you're actually going to get it. So the whole saying of like getting paid in exposure, the whole reason why that's a joke is because usually people saying it don't have any exposure to give you. That's where the joke of that phrase comes from. I see some people saying they don't like it because the content is lazy. I mean, technically almost everything streamers do is lazy. Like, is it more lazy to watch a video than to just like put a game on and don't say anything? Like streaming League for 10 hours, is that less lazy? I think that argument's dumb. I think it's interesting that people get upset about React streamers. People get mad at the whataboutism. Nobody seems to care that TikTok is built almost entirely off of like ripping shit from other people and getting tens of millions of views on it sometimes, or like all the meme compilations that go up on YouTube, which also usually don't credit any of the streamers, but is interesting. I also think sometimes people's demands for reactions, I'll see this when people watch my stuff. People will say something like, Destiny, when you watched that Ben Shapiro video, when you watched that thing, your reaction was really great there. But when you watched like the Internet Historian Cave Guy or the JFK documentary, that reaction was really bad. These statements don't make sense. Some streamers, I'll speak for myself, I guess, because I don't, probably true for everybody. Some streamers watch things specifically because it's in their area of expertise or it's in their wheelhouse to react to. If you watch me, watch a 30-minute video of like Ben Shapiro or whatever, I'm probably gonna have a lot to say on what he's gonna say, right? If I'm watching like the Internet Historian Cave Guy thing, what the f am I gonna react to? What do you mean to pause and say like, wow guys, that cave sure is deep. I remember when I was a kid, I was scared of deep caves. Let's go. Like, some videos are gonna be things that you're just watching. Some of the things, you got a lot of shit for that ContraPoints video reaction. Yeah, because August was retarded and uploaded it to my YouTube channel. I don't know why he did that, but everybody assumes that I think that that was like a good video to upload to YouTube, which I absolutely do not. I don't know why he uploaded that. Obviously, there are gonna be some things that people react to that, yeah, like I don't understand these reactions. Or I think it's just, it must just be because there's like a jerk waving a streamer sometimes. Destiny, just admit you're a lazy f who puts on videos because you don't want to lose viewers while you game or respond to emails. Lazy, like, what are you so mad about? Like, the harm here is almost entirely fabricated. Nobody can see it. And people are so mad. They're like as mad as they were about the old like machinima contracts. Like, holy shit. Jesus. Anti-react content has been a YouTube thing for years. Oh, I guess, or just maybe it's like bled over into the streamer world. In your mind, is there a difference between a reaction on stream versus on YouTube? It depends on the type of ass mad you are about the particular thing. It depends. Sometimes, yeah, just it depends on what your argument is. If your argument is just one purely of copyright infringement, then the platform is really not relevant. If the argument is one of like depriving the person of views, that hasn't been proven on any platform ever. So I don't even know why that argument is made. But if there was any legitimacy to that argument, then same platform reacts are probably be more damaging than alternate platform reacts. That'd be my guess. Would it be better or more agreeable to you if the criticism was re-uploading the full stream reaction and the ought statement was to cut the stream clip down and link to the original to finish the video? Yeah, there are better ways that if you wanted to give credit to the creators, I think that there are probably 2 or 3 ways to do this. One would be to have like an auto claim system, so somebody can get like 10-20% of a streamer's revenue for a day if they like do a like you can do partial claims on YouTube, but I think your channel has to be for a certain size to do that. Number one. Number 2 could be at the very least requirement for people to Number 2 could be a requirement for people to link back to the original. That'd probably help as well. I think number 3, I think it would actually be okay if there was a, I think it would be okay if there was an embargo on reacting. So for instance, you shouldn't react as a streamer to a YouTube video that's been up until it's been up for at least like 1 or 2 weeks. I think that there is, I think there are legitimate, I think those could be like legitimate points, but nobody even cares about that. People are just like completely ass mad about. I don't even know why. So you're saying you'd be okay with somebody watching your Change My Mind videos without any input on their stream for an hour? Interesting. I mean, you can't ask me because I'm not retarded, and I would say yes to all of that. Yeah, of course. If a larger content creator than me put up my Change My Mind and show, like, here's the reality for making content. And if you ever wonder why I do so many weird podcasts, or part of what my big growth has been recently, Zatsui, thanks for the 5 gifted subs. One of the most important things that you can do as a content creator, one of the hardest things you can do, and I don't give a f if you believe me or not, but the most important thing you do is usually getting your content in front of a new audience. It is incredibly difficult, and it is incredibly valuable. I'd rather go in front of somebody with 1,000, if there was somebody that was totally outside of my wheelhouse, and they had like 1,000 concurrent viewers, I'd rather talk to them for an hour than xQc for an hour. It would do me more value, because that's 1,000 people that have never been exposed to me or heard of me before, which is how many new fans are gonna be up, versus xQc's audience has already heard of me. Almost all of them probably have, right? Most people are only mad because they hate seeing people they perceive as being talentless getting paid to react to videos and adding no value to them. True! Like I said before, yeah, I can understand that. But I wish people would just say that instead of like virtue signaling all this other shit. Like, people are saying like, all the React content should go away forever. Okay, but that doesn't help any of the other people being reacted to. You're not helping them at all. You're just like trying to attack, I guess, like the streamers and then their communities. For what though? You don't even gain anything from that. Like, what's even the point? Yeah. I'm sorry, but this is a cringe, self-interested take that perfectly fits your situation. Stop pretending this is different than having ad block. Okay, again, we can go and we can pull 1 million streamers, 1 million content creators, 1 million things if you want. And I understand, I'll do this. I'm always gonna eat an L on this because you guys have grown accustomed to navigating the internet this way. Ad block has been and always will be more destructive than React content, which you haven't even proven hurts a single channel. Nobody's even proven that React content is harmful. Ad block is destructive. It is. And the idea that people are like, how can you be anti-ad block but pro-React content? Because ad block actually deprives creators of revenue. If you've got 1 million views on the video and 70 to 80% of those are ad blocked, you've lost like 5 times your money. You can't prove lost revenue in any as easily as you like. Ad block is the easiest revenue loss proving you can ever do in your entire life. Yabba dabba do. Thanks for that 5 gifted subs. Now again, if you want to ad block or whatever, knock us off. I'm not gonna sit here and scream at you about it because unlike you guys, I can moderate my fucking opinion on things, right? I think ad block is probably bad for creator environments, but I'm not gonna sit here and fight against ad block because I know this is to a fight. And because at the end of the day, it's probably not that big of a deal. It's not for me, and it's probably not for a lot of larger creators because I can actually have a moderate reaction to things. But like, if you ad block and you're mad about the react shit, you probably have no valuable opinion on literally any of this. Yeah. Destiny, people don't understand that every podcast you're doing on your recent tour has literally been paid in exposure because you don't ask for a fee. That is true. I don't charge people appearance fees just for exactly that reason, yeah. Can you at least agree that uploading full lazy React videos to YouTube itself is harmful? I don't know if it is harmful. I don't know if there's any harm there at all. Nobody's ever proven it before, ever. I don't think it is harmful. It probably isn't. Is it like morally dubious? Yeah, it might be, sure.
Many of you may know Destiny.
Also, defends his bag. My bread and butter, I don't even think is React content. Like, not compared to some of these other streamers. Like, holy shit. But it's funny now that, like, because I could have technically just said nothing and like, because I'm pretty sure people are nuking like Hasan and xQc and shit over this. Because most of the time, oh, actually, no, that is true. Because most of the time, if I step away from my computer, usually I just throw my be right back screen and you guys will just watch that for 10 or 15 minutes. As opposed to, I guess apparently other streamers will put on videos and go away from their computer for 20, 30 minutes, I guess. But now, apparently now I'm going to be grouped in with all the React streamers, which is fine. I don't give a f***, I'll defend it. I don't care. Wait, sincere question, I promise. If it hasn't been proven that React content uploaded to YouTube is harmful, why do you think it's bad that August uploaded the ContraPoints one? For 2 reasons. One, if for no other reason, for optics, because you retards will lose your mind over it and think that I like commanded August to throw that video up completely verbatim. And then number 2, I just don't think it's a very valuable addition to my channel. If somebody wants to go watch ContraPoints, then go watch ContraPoints. I don't know why I would just re-upload that and stick on my channel. It's not like if you're coming to my channel to watch something from me or my contribution, why just have another person's video? Those are the 2 reasons why I don't think it. Yeah, but I don't feel bad like, oh no, I probably siphoned a whole bunch of views away from ContraPoints. I don't think that happens.
Very old content creator. I don't mean in terms, well, I guess in terms of his physical age, but also like how long he's been making content. He's 2 years older than me. Basically a fossil. That man should retire. Imagine a 34-year-old still making content on the internet, not giving space for us young 32-year-olds, let's be honest. Destiny has, in large part, maintained his relevance by throwing out shit on Twitter to get responses and then bring people onto his stream to talk to them. I guess it's not unlike what Sneaker is doing, but maybe less extreme.
Like, this is what I mean. Like, is it impossible to just give a take? Like, so anyway, there's Destiny. I heard that he raped like 20 children. I think he murdered a whole bunch of, it was a whole bunch of people in Compton, but it was really strange because when we went to the store, he only killed the black ones, which I thought was really weird, and some of the white women. But anyway, so that's Destiny. We're going to talk about his opinion now. Like, what? Okay. Like,
it's hard to say. What I'm trying to say is, it is sometimes hard to know how sincere he is on Twitter, because he says things that he clearly doesn't believe.
Oh, okay, hold on. Let's go bring up every single tweet too, because everybody's like, Destiny's gonna back away from all these tweets, blah, 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 blah. Let's read them. Tweet 1, is it already time again for the virtue signaling around evil React content? The reality is, likely causes little to no harm to any of the actual creators on YouTube. If it did, why aren't there legions of creators DMCAing streamers for watching their stuff? Why aren't there tons of YouTubers begging streamers not to watch/react to their stuff? I've never seen so many people crying and pretending to care about such a trivially easy problem to fix. That is true. Where are all of the people, where are all the YouTubers that are like, oh no, like, please, like, stop watching my videos? It's so, like, this doesn't happen. Like, given all the reactions that streamers do, you'd think there'd be a lot more people complaining about it, but it's not. It's like, it's just like the community of people that complain about everything on YouTube. Number 1. And then number 2, again, it would only take like 1 or 2 DMCAs and then you'd be done. Like, boom, nobody would react to your shit anymore. Like, could you imagine if 1 or 2 YouTubers, DMCA streamers reacting to shit? Boom, nobody would do anymore. Like, done, that's it. Or also, by the way, you wouldn't even have to DMCA a streamer, because I've heard a lot of people like, oh no, they're too scared. If you don't want to DMCA a streamer, email the streamer or send them a DM and be like, hey, can you please like not watch my shit? Or if you want to watch something, watch 5 minutes and link to my video. You could do that, and then boom, that's like a win-win. Like, this is such an easy problem. If it was a problem, if it even was a huge problem, which I don't even think it is, but if it was a huge problem, it's so easy to fix. Like, when music DMCA started happening, not a single streamer was playing music for like weeks. Yeah. So somebody responded to my tweet and they said an extra 50K views on a video would help. And then my response was, the reality is most of the people on stream we're never going to watch that video anyway. There is maybe an argument for brand new videos being released and having those views cannibalized by streamers, but then I just ask, why not just DMCA 1 or 2 channels reacting? Streamers would probably never watch your content again. Next tweet. I think this guy deleted his tweet, but I think it said something like, oh, like, communities are gonna be haters or whatever. And I said, this doesn't make much sense. If the whole YouTube community hates reactions as much as some, like DarkViperAU, are claiming, wouldn't they be seen as heroes for DMCAing evil react streamers? Yeah. CGP Grey getting shit on in the comments for DMCAing a YouTuber. I'd have to go and look up. I don't know the specifics of that one, so I'd have to go and look it up to know if I should ban you for your retarded comment or if it's a good comment or not, but... Somebody said, even if we accept that, they definitely won't after. There's potentially hundreds of views. I think asking creators with a fraction of resource and powers to DMCA all these videos is unreasonable for... You just have to DMCA like 1 or 2. It takes 90 seconds. I said, LOL, filing a DMCA takes like 90 seconds on almost any platform, and you'd only have to do it once or twice for people to never react to your stuff again. Someone says you'll lose reputation for that. And then I said, then have your shit stolen. Who cares? It's such a loser mentality. There specifically exists a tool here to address exactly this problem. And 90% of the internet would support you doing it, but you don't do it because randoms on Twitter, question mark. This makes literally no sense. Somebody said, do you really think Peanut Brain xQc / Hasan fans give a fuck about legitimate DMCA claims? And I reply, this doesn't make sense. So you think people would be in an uproar if you filed a DMCA claim, but they won't be in an uproar if you tell people they're not allowed to watch their stuff ever again. This is grasping at straws. And then I don't think I have any more. People don't like it because it's probably shown on streamers at the moment. That's literally it. It's the 2023 So Brave opinion. Streamers bad. What are you talking about? 99% of the people mad aren't even content creators themselves. It's others getting mad on behalf of them. And then I tweeted a good meme picture. Wow. Okay. All right. Those are all my tweets.
Intentionally inflammatory stuff. So regardless, I'm going to talk about some tweets related to my commentary, fully admitting that he may be entirely insincere here. I don't consider Destiny to be like an honest actor. It's already time again.
God, what a fucking tank top wearing meth head loser. Like, why not just... I like how he's got to poison the well for a whole fucking minute before he can vomit out like what I was talking about. Jesus Christ.
For the virtue signaling around evil react content. Any person who starts by calling all opposing positions just virtue signaling, obviously not really arguing in good faith, right? As this is just shit flinging. Virtue signaling to who would be the question. The reality is...
Virtue signaling when you're getting mad on behalf of other YouTubers and your shit isn't even being reacted to. It's not even your shit. It's not even your content and you're getting this mad. If that's not a virtue signal, what the is? You don't even know if there's any harm being done. You haven't even demonstrated harm. No harm demonstrated, and it's not your content, and it's not even streamers you're watching, and you're so invested in it. Okay.
It likely causes little to no harm to any of the actual creators on YouTube. If it did, why aren't there legions of creators DMCAing streamers for watching their stuff? Dozens of answers to this. The first is that ultimately what is being lost is gains that the person would otherwise have received if not for interference. Therefore, they can be entirely unaware that those gains would have come to them if not for that interference.
You have no way. This has never been demonstrated, ever. I don't even know if like the YouTube recommended feed works that way. That like... Because I didn't watch, like, if only Destiny wouldn't have watched it on his stream, I would have gone on my own time and watched this video that I didn't even know about otherwise?
We could phrase Destiny's question like this. Me and Destiny going to Jack's house. We see in his mailbox that he has a birthday card from his grandmother. And so Destiny looks and goes, hey, his grandmother might be sending him money. Destiny grabs Jack's, card from his grandmother, opens it, goes, hey, $50, puts it in his pocket, and then, I guess, I don't know, just crumples up the note and chucks it in the sewer. And I'm like, I think Jack would really care that you just took $50 from him. And Destiny was like, well, let's see. And we both go in his house and Jack doesn't mention it. And so Destiny's like, see? He didn't give two shits that I took $50 from him. Didn't care at all. And my response in that situation is the same in this situation.
This assumes that $50 was always gonna go to Jack, though. You have no idea, you have no way of knowing that. And outside of exceptionally rare circumstances, I'd probably bet my life. Outside of exceptionally rare circumstances, I'd probably bet my life that that doesn't happen. Like I said, the only case where I can see this being like an actual problem is if somebody responds to or reacts to a video and he and you re-upload this, like especially like same day or whatever, and then you start cannibalizing views that way, I could see that probably being a problem, right? Which is why I'm saying, like, if there's like an embargo on reacting to like a YouTube video for like 1 or 2 weeks, I think that would make sense. I think most streamers would probably like agree to that. Like if you were to tell like Hasan or xQc or have a rule or whatever, and you're like, hey, listen guys, if you're gonna watch a YouTube video on stream, make sure it's been up for at least a week or two. I think that's completely fair, 100%.
They don't know. And if I
yeah, true. Jack might have been using that money on drugs anyway. True.
explain to Jack that he just lost $50, he would care. As when I explain to other creators of the market manipulation that reaction content does in pulling audiences away from them to reactors, as that's its only purpose. They do care, right? Even in cases of just looking at individual videos that reactors may have impacted, which is not my interest, people don't go back and look at the analytics of videos that are potentially like a year old to see how those videos did before and after reaction. MadSeason, a person who doesn't seem to hate reaction content, recently made a video where he did that and went back and went, oh, after that reaction, my video did way worse than it was doing before that. Like I could see.
Wait, hold on. Do we have actual, what is this graph? Wait. What are we looking at? This is why I wouldn't watch any long form content by this guy. You should have, I don't want to say you should have to have a fucking math degree, but like you just have, what is this? It looks like, if we ignore the weird grouping here of this, the red and the blue part, it looks like he posted a video and then it had its huge first, what is this, couple weeks? And then the videos kind of trailed off, and then it looks like something happened for it got popular. Was this Asmongold watching it? And then after that, the views kind of went back and then they trailed off again. The averages that he draws here, though, to prove that, like, I was getting 21 views a day. Is this a couple months after reacting? Or, I'm sorry, this is a couple months after posting? I think that says December. Wait, this is December, January, February, March. Okay, so 3 to 4 months afterwards, he was getting 2,100 views a day. And then he's averaging that with the viewership he was getting a year after? Also, if Asmongold is reacting here, this reaction here looks like it literally did give a bump to the viewership. Like, it's hard to eyeball this, but it looks like if you were to integrate, if you integrated this function from where the blue starts here to like this point here, I feel like the integral of this, it would be more than like half of this entire fucking block here. Like, I feel like he might have gotten more viewership at this point here than he did for like 75% of this part here. This is like the stupidest analysis I've ever seen in my entire life. What point is he even trying to make here?
When the reaction happened, and after that, I was getting half the views each day that I was before.
What do you mean after that? No, after that, your viewership was about the same, and it was higher than it was a few months ago. You're averaging out you're averaging out like an 8-month period here, and then you're saying this is all 925 views a day. What the fuck?
Didn't know that because he didn't go back and look at his analytics. It's not obvious the harm.
But then there was Asmongold's reaction in the algorithm, which is why it decreased. What explains why it decreased so much here then? What about around March, where the viewership was basically 0? What explains that?
That reaction content does. It's an analogy of it. The deal that reactors have with reactees is they will take $1 from 1,000 people and give $5 to the reactee. That's a terrible deal as a collective. But if you don't know where that money's coming from, you're like, oh, yeah, $5. Not realizing that the next time this deal happens, you're not going to be the one getting $5. You're just as likely as everyone else to be the one losing the $1. Like, you don't have to agree with this position to understand why this question makes no sense.
I don't even understand the analogy you just used. Maybe I'm just too stupid, I guess, because I'm a reactor, I guess.
Destiny's question will be like asking, if people don't like crimes happening to them, why are so many crimes unreported? Why are so many people not trying to resolve their own crimes?
The difference is that, and I saw some of you guys post on my subreddit, oh, well, rapes are unreported. Someone said something. The difference is that a DMCA form takes 90 seconds to fill out, and you are guaranteed to get a positive result. That's it. Like, all you have to do is fill out a DMCA, and it's guaranteed to take the video down. Easy.
Vigilante justice? Obviously, there are many reasons why people can be ignorant of harm being inflicted upon them, or be unwilling to do something about that harm.
I don't think I'm arguing with Pisco on this, because I can already see the autistic places that Pisco's mind is going. Destiny, stupid point. Let me explain why it's a good point. And then if you don't understand, you just don't understand. My analogy was, if people didn't like this particular thing, why wouldn't they DMCA it? And then the response is, oh, well, if people didn't like rape, why wouldn't they report it? The reasons why people don't report rape are not the same as the reasons why people don't do DMCAs. People don't report rapes because there's a whole bunch of all the shit that goes into rape victim, blah, blah, blah. Ignoring all of that, there's a high likelihood that your report never even gets resolved. They might not even do the rape kit, right? If you could report a rape, and there was a 100% chance guarantee that it would be resolved every time, I would ask that same question. If it was the fact that if you reported a rape, every single time you report it, the precogs go out, they capture the guy, they lock him up, and then he goes into jail, and then somebody got reported, I would ask that question. If somebody's like, God, I've gotten raped like 10 times, it's so bad, and I'm like, oh, you didn't report anything? Like, no, I didn't. You got raped 10 times, you didn't report any of them? It's a 100% success rate for reporting. Why the fuck wouldn't you report it? Did you actually get raped, or are you just making shit up to me right now? I would ask that question. The DMCA is you fill it out, you're hard avoiding the question. Oh boy. Oh, so now Pisco's trying to rope me around at what he tweeted, because what he just said in chat was retarded. For the React copyright debate, assuming no fair use and therefore no infringement, it's generally acceptable to do React content. Is it generally accepted to do React content without permission or not? He's asking a question, I'm not sure. Focusing on the notice taken we say is a total cop-out to get out of analyzing the underlying infringement. No one here is talking about copyright infringement. It is like the least interesting part of all of this. Literally nobody here is talking about infringement. Whether or not it is or isn't infringement, I would probably lean on the side of it being infringement, but if it is, that's all the more reason to file a DMCA. But infringement is not what anybody's talking about here. Usually people are talking about deprivation of, they're either talking about deprivation of viewership for the original video, which hasn't been proven at all. And then the second part is people just mad at streamers making money off of other people's content.
Because of other extraneous variables or external variables. But as we go on, there are obviously many other reasons why even people who recognize the harm of reaction content wouldn't do anything about it. I've never seen so many people crying or pretending to care about people who recognize the harm of or external variables. But as we go on, there are obviously many other reasons why even people who recognize the harm of reaction content wouldn't do anything about it. I've never seen so many people.
I'm just not. Am I on normal speed? What is he saying? Hold on.
Any other reasons why even people extraneous variables or external variables. But as we go on, there are obviously many other reasons why even people who recognize the harm of reaction content.
There are many other reasons why human needs to be. What is he saying? Okay, can somebody translate this for me?
Variables. But as we go on, there are obviously many other reasons why even people who recognize the harm of reaction content wouldn't do anything about it. I've never seen so many people crying or pretending to care about such a trivially easy problem to fix. Okay, sport. The reality is most of the people on stream were never going to watch the video anyway, but they would have watched something. The market is finite.
They would just watch the streamer. What do you mean they'd watch something? How many people go to Hasan's streamer and it's like, oh, Hasan's not reacting to a video right now. Instead of watching Hasan for 8 hours, I'm gonna spend my last 4 hours perusing random YouTube videos. Wait, what the fuck? Who does? That's not how consumer behavior works in these markets. A stream viewer is not instantly exchangeable with a YouTube viewer, right? That's why, like, the people that watch YouTube videos, the people that watch TikTok videos, the people that watch live streams, the people that engage with content on Instagram or even Snapchat that shows now, these are all like the behavior of these consumers is pretty different. You can't just swap one out for another, right? Like if I was gonna spend 8 hours streaming in a day and I spend 4 hours stealing people's content, let's say that I don't steal people's content for 4 hours. It's not like people are gonna be like, oh, okay, well, I'm not gonna watch his stream for these 4 hours. I'm gonna go discover new stuff on YouTube. It doesn't work that way.
You're the ability for a small section of the market to be to pump out like a dozen videos a day of high quality when it normally takes one person a month to make that video is obviously going to have an impact on who is successful in the market because there's only a finite amount of viewers and a finite amount of impressions that can promote any sort of content.
He's so naive. I don't understand. He doesn't know anything about these markets. A finite amount of viewers and a finite amount of impressions. The viewer behavior is incredibly different. The viewer behavior between all the platforms is so different. You can't just exchange one viewer for another. This is why a person having 1 million subs on TikTok is like, whatever, and 1 million followers on Twitch is like, pretty good, and 1 million subs on YouTube is like, holy shit, that's fucking amazing. Like, 100,000 views on a long-form video is a lot different than 1 million views on a YouTube short video, which is a lot different than 10 million views on a TikTok video, which might be different than 500,000 views on an Instagram reel. These viewers are not one-to-one exchangeable. If somebody rips my video, a YouTube short, and then uploads it to TikTok and gets 500,000 views on TikTok, that doesn't mean I would have gotten 500,000 views on my YouTube short if it just wasn't on TikTok. Like, the viewer behavior doesn't work this way. An xQc viewer that watches xQc for xQc is not going to suddenly start watching YouTube videos because xQc is not watching a YouTube video.
Like, if I made a video that was so good that the entire world could watch it 24/7, 7 days a week, and be perfectly satisfied, I had literally the entire viewership watching my channel in Destiny's world, that would have no impact on anyone.
Because it's just not how the viewerships work. People that watch YouTube videos don't usually watch live streams, right? That's why you get people like PewDiePie will have like 50 million fucking subs on YouTube, and then when they live stream, they get like 20,000 viewers, right? It's a fundamentally different type of audience. Destiny, why don't you do a live debate with someone about this topic? It seems you're purposely being dishonest with most of your points. See you later. Perma ban. I said I would do viewer calls later. If people want to come in and talk about it, sure.
Because how could it? It's just because I have all the viewers and the algorithm is only advertising me, that shouldn't impact anyone else in the market, right? This is his world. So no amount of statements I make about unfair shifting of market or pulling viewers away from other people to reactors will ever have any impact on him. He just doesn't believe that what a person does in the market can impact other players in that market. He doesn't seem to believe in negative externalities. Just says, well, it's a relationship between a reactor and a reactee, can't affect anyone else on the market. It's just done. And I have these conversations with people and they just don't understand. But isn't
this guy like reasonably successful on YouTube? Does he stream? Or maybe he doesn't think about these things, or maybe he's like so bought into it, because I think he's been on a crusade on this shit for a long fucking time. So maybe this is just like his pet project. But like this idea, yeah, this guy does really well on YouTube. I wonder how much of this is shorts now. Actually, this is 71 million because there's a huge jump here. I wonder, well, if he does shorts, he should even know. If I have an xQc stream that's going for 10 hours. And xQc has 50,000 viewers. If he watches YouTube videos for the last 2 hours, if instead there's another timeline where for these 2 hours he plays Overwatch, none of these viewers here, or none of the viewers here are gonna go and just find random YouTube videos. I don't believe this behavior happens. Maybe like 1/1000th, or maybe 1/10th, maybe like 20 of them will. The Viper slithers away. I'd want to talk to me too. What is this? Yo, Destiny wants to talk to you. I didn't even say it. I don't know if I would. I'd want to talk to me too. Say what you will about him, but he apparently has some level of good taste. Not sure why you were telling me this though. I'd like to have a chat with Leonardo DiCaprio. Go tell him that. Just joshing with you, mate, but it's almost 5 a.m. and I have a sleeping disorder. I sincerely... I'm sorry. We're all struggling out here, mate. But it's almost 5 a.m. and I have a sleeping disorder. I sincerely doubt I'd want to talk to us if you had a good night's rest anyway. Yeah, okay. I'm good.
In his case, I think he can understand. He just doesn't want to. The man makes millions of dollars. Well, maybe not now. He has made millions of dollars over the course of his career.
I like how, where does... Everybody on LSF does this to me too. Everybody's like, "Oh, Destiny's fallen off so hard." Wait, what? And these are like my last like 3 years have sequentially been like the best years of my career. I'd be like, "Oh, Destiny, I don't even remember that guy anymore." Like, bro, what are you talking about?
Re-uploading other people's videos. So why on earth would he want to understand this? Thinking about it, probably he wouldn't even change if he did understand it, regardless. There is maybe an argument for brand new videos being released and having those views cannibalized by streamers, but then I ask, why not DMCA 1 or 2 channels reacting? Streamers would probably never watch your content again. Because again, the impact of reaction content is on everyone, not simply individual videos.
Then where are all of the YouTubers complaining about it? Why hasn't everybody come up and just said, okay, let's just start DMCAing streamers? Boom! This problem, there is literally the perfect tool in place to solve this problem that anybody can utilize at any point in time. It's right there.
Yes. It is impact on the market. Like, you don't have to agree with that statement. You have to agree with the position to understand it and raise criticisms in light of your understanding. The questions Destiny is raising here represents a lack of understanding of the position. Because again, you can disagree with the person and understand their positions. Destiny continues by saying, this doesn't make sense. If the whole YouTube community hates reactions as much as some DarkViperAU are claiming, wouldn't they be seen as heroes for DMCAing evil react streamers? He's using YouTube community here kind of dishonestly, because there will be two different groups of people, the viewers and the creators themselves. It could be the case that 50% of creators don't like reaction content for a variety of reasons. There would still leave, 50% of people, of creators themselves, who are perfectly fine with it, right? But that doesn't represent the viewers. Obviously, the viewers are more likely to be in favor of reaction content, especially in different types of content. I have more ability to criticize reaction content than, say, a person who makes World of Warcraft content, because Asmongold is such a big player in that space and has spent so much time influencing the beliefs of that group about reaction content.
Bro, all you have to do is tweet out one tweet at Asmongold making fun of his hair being gone, and the guy will be streaming on his alternate account for like 6 months. No offense to Asmongold, I love him, but this is not a man with the constitution to carry out an extended campaign of harassment against somebody that DMCA is a video. It would be so easy. This is such an easy video, or it's such an easy problem to stop. It's literally, this is the problem that is so easy to make go away. Like,
content, that any criticism he makes, or he or she makes, to his audience is likely going to have a huge overlap with Asmongold's audience. I have never claimed that all creators don't like reaction content. Never claimed that at all. I know for a fact many don't like it, even those who dislike.
I'm not straying Asmongold. I love Asmongold. I'm just saying that Asmongold is he gets upset a lot about like hate on the internet. So the idea that Asmongold would ever be in charge of like leading a campaign of attacks against some other people, chances are he would just get really upset about it and then go on his alternate account and stream. I don't even know if he streams on his main account anymore. That's all I'm saying.
Like reaction content don't necessarily dislike it for the same reasons that I don't. I've made many statements about why this is so hard to have any impact on. Two kinds of people tend to pop up during these conversations to criticize reactors. Those who don't watch React content and those who believe people are talking about those bad reactors, not the reactors they personally watch. Like, even when you see viewers criticizing bad reactors, they'll usually go, oh yeah, but Moist critical, he's fine. Or Asmongold, he's fine. Or my particular favorite reactor, he's doing it right, but it's those bad ones over there that are doing it wrong. People can dislike forms of reaction content while still liking other forms of it. Reaction content as a term is used to describe so many different types of content. Two people can say, I hate reaction content, mean entirely different things. It's a very murky discourse. So this Christian
DarkViper is such vitriol for Asmongold, does he? Do they have like a history with each other? I have no idea. Please debate Mauler. Mauler, message me. I told him we'd be talking like 20 minutes if he wants to.
person says, I think asking creators with a fraction of the resources and power
After I finish reacting to this.
to DMCA all these videos is unreasonable for so many reasons. Destiny says, lol, filing a DMCA takes like 90 seconds on almost any platform, and you'd only have to do it once or twice before people would never react to your stuff again. For a start, if he's ever done it on TikTok, it's an annoying process. Like, it's hugely annoying. I've never done it on Twitch. Maybe Twitch is also easy, but TikTok certainly isn't. Regardless though, keeping on top of that all the time does take time. And of course there are...
Wait, sorry, hold on.
And you'd only have to do it once or twice before people would never react to your stuff again. For a start, if he's ever done it on TikTok, fuck, that's an annoying process. Like, it's hugely annoying. I've never done it on Twitch. Maybe Twitch is also easy, but...
Is it annoying? Let's find out. Let's see. They send you an email to verify the email. Wait, hold on. More React videos.
Streamers banned for Gordon React? Since when? But I'm not reacting, I'm just watching it.
Destiny, you have no idea about DarkViperAU, but it's just your dementia kicking in. Here's you debating him in 2018. I remember debating him in 2018, you retarded bear dipshit. You've been eating too much fucking brain rot honey in the forest. When we debated, it was one of the things we debated. I remember we specifically talked about The Matrix and how we thought The Matrix 1 was bad because the climax occurred at the wrong time in the movie. I remember talking to him, but my question was why he hates Asmongold so much. Now we're rewatching this clip again.
Streamers banned for Gordon React? Since when? But I'm not reacting, I'm just watching it.
What a god. I don't understand. The TikTok DMCA form looks like every other DMCA form I've ever seen in my life. Report, copyright infringement, contact information, copyright ownership, proof of file. You probably upload the video. And then you sign a section at the bottom. Is there something that makes TikTok like more difficult to report on? Am I missing something? Okay.
TikTok certainly isn't. Regardless though, keeping on top of that all the time does take time. And of course, there are consequences for DMCAing anyone. Audience backlash. Because again, removing one reaction to your videos does nothing to impact the market impact of all reaction content and its potential impact on you. Or your ability to survive in a market, again, where one small portion can pump out 12 videos a day of high quality that normally takes the average person a month to make even one. It doesn't fix anything. It's Gabby's statement. Why don't you just not watch the content then, as if that changes anything? A factory is poisoning the water supply. And Destiny's like, oh, why don't you just not...
Okay, here you go. Ready? Super easy solution. If this is how you really feel, this is what you really want, here's what you do, okay? Get 100 YouTubers, okay? Super easy. Here's what you do. Make a Google Doc, okay, and give editing privileges to 15 large YouTubers. Tell these 15 large YouTubers, hey guys, we're gonna go on Twitter and we're gonna tweet out, if you don't want streamers, lazy react streamers, evil lazy react, Nazi evil lazy react streamers, to react to your content, respond here, email me from an email linked in your YouTube channel, and then we'll add you to a document. Have 15 large streamers that have the ability to edit this doc, put that tweet out, see if you can get like 1,000 fucking streamers, because they all follow, or YouTubers, they all follow each other on Twitter probably, right? Get 1,000 people on a Word doc and then publish it. Go live with it. Take a month, get the names together, and they're gonna say, hey, listen, YouTube creators, we do not want streamers reacting to our stuff anymore. If you want, we can even create a fucking process. Send a streamer $100, or send a YouTube, I keep saying streamer, send a YouTube creator $100 and now you can react to their video, or some shit like that, okay? Or everybody can put their fucking fee in the Word doc if you wanted to, okay? Look up the fucking YouTuber, find their fucking PayPal, and send them $50 or whatever if you want to react to the shit on stream. Boom! You can solve this shit in 1 month if you actually wanted to. If you got 15 big YouTubers together, put out a tweet, and you put in like, this would probably take 5 hours of work, okay? Maybe. Or maybe like an hour each between 15 people. You could do this and you could be done. Boom. And then and you've solved the problem in 1 month. Everybody on the list, you can even make your own little bullshit licensing system like that if you wanted to. Send me $100 and you can react to my video if you're a streamer, and then boom, problem solved. And everybody on that list says, hey, if you react to my shit and you see me on this list and you don't pay me money for it, I'm gonna DMCA you, motherfucker. Boom, easy. And then every streamer that streams on Twitch, before they watch a YouTube video, they'll open that Word doc, Control F. Is this guy in here? Oh, he is. Oh, I'll go PayPal him $50. Boom. Problem solved in a month.
Not drink from the water. Duh. So this person says, you will lose.
But these guys don't want to solve the problem for one bullshit reason and for one real reason. The bullshit reason is because these guys don't even give a fuck about this. It's not a real problem. It's just because losers like this make money clickbaiting titles like this, acting like this is some new adpocalypse or some new fucking horrible trend on YouTube that's destroying, video creation. It's not, okay? And two, the actual thing is people probably don't want React content to go away, because React content probably actually does help a lot of smaller YouTube videos, especially content that's older on YouTube. That'd be my guess, but...
reputation for that, DMCAing other creators. The internet hears the acronym DMCA and immediately sides with the other side. So Destiny says, then have your shit stolen, who cares? This is such a loser mentality. There specifically exists a tool to address this exact problem, and literally 90% of the internet would support you, but you don't use it because randoms on Twitter? This makes literally no sense. So this is dumb, but it becomes more dumb in the next one. A username pirate responds to Destiny.
Wait, does he not respond to me at all? Wait, why doesn't he respond to it? Destiny, streamers are gonna cry about it and it's not gonna be solved, LOL. I don't know what your point is here. Excuse me? What? When have even streamer communities backed streamers crying about DMCA? Has that ever happened, ever? When all the music DMCAs came down from the record labels on Twitch, were there a bunch of people watching like, oh my god, the record labels are so evil, we should be able to... No, everybody made fun of the streamers for it. It's like, oh, probably shouldn't listen to copyrighted music on stream. Where are all of these communities of people that defend streamers against DMCAs, right? The only things that people get mad about are fake DMCAs or people DMCAing you because of criticism.
Because randoms on Twitter? This makes literally no sense. So this is dumb, but it becomes more dumb in the next one. A username pirate responds to Destiny, saying they'll target whoever filed the DMCA and harass them because they're deranged individuals who think normal social leave conventions don't apply to the React content losers that they worship. Destiny responds, this doesn't make sense. So you think people would be in an uproar if you filed a DMCA claim, but they won't be in an uproar if you tell people they're not allowed to watch their stuff ever again. This is just grasping at straws. So there are two interpretations of Destiny's words here. He could be saying that he doesn't believe there would be a significantly different response if you tried to nuke a person's channel out of existence by using DMCA.
You don't have to nuke. Sometimes in public, if your kid's really acting out, you might have to spank your kid. Oh, so you think you should fucking full Nelson, choke out, decapitate your child in public? You don't have to nuke a person's channel. You could DMCA one thing, number one. Or two, you could also just go on Twitter or send an email saying like, hey, don't react to my shit anymore, or I'm gonna DMCA your channel. You don't have to pull the trigger on it. And if you do pull the trigger, you don't have to DMCA like 20 videos, just one time.
Or if you explain to viewers of that content why they shouldn't watch it moving forward. Either that, or he's saying that he doesn't believe that there will be a difference in response if you try to nuke a person's channel off the internet, and if you simply told people not to react to your content. The problem is that the word people in this context could mean creators or viewers, and their stuff could both refer to the reactors content and the re-uploads of the original creators content. Normally I'd work to steelman the position, but both positions don't make sense. Therefore I will address the latter and then go back to the former. For so many years, we've heard DMCA abuse of the copyright system, evil companies DMCAing content, and that's the entire discourse. When viewers hear DMCA, they're like, what is this person abusing copyright for?
Do you know, are you so fucking retarded that you can't tell the fucking difference? Do people think DMCA doesn't have a legitimate purpose? Like, if there was ever a time to DMCA, if this is something you feel very strongly about, this would be the time. This is a legitimate utilization of the DMCA. And you probably, if it went to court, which it wouldn't, because I don't know if people would counterclaim, if it went to court, you'd probably win. If a streamer just watches an hour-long video and they don't say anything, you probably would be fine there. Like, even legally. Like, so are you telling me that because some people have abused DMCA in the past, now you're never going to use DMCA even if it's for legitimate purposes? Like, wait, what the f?
Regardless of the details of the case. But if you ask a person like, hey, I'm not really cool with my content being reacted to, that is obviously going to elicit a much lighter response from audiences, especially because that can be done like under the table. Like most of the people who ask Asmongold not to react to his stuff, you probably don't know about. But if you DMC'd Asmongold, next thing on Twitter will be, I've just been DMCA'd by this scum trying to take down my channel. How dare he fucking get—
Has this ever, I'm trying to think if this has ever happened where people haven't been DMCAing for criticism. Like, if somebody DMCA'd Asmongold for re-uploading a video that he reacted to in its entirety, would Asmongold even make, I feel like even as a streamer, you'd be like, yeah, f me, I got there. Are people really going to be like, no, Asmongold should be able to re-upload your full videos unedited to his channel? Like,
at this fool. Obviously, putting an account in jeopardy with potentially thousands of re-uploaded videos, potentially taking down that is obviously going to be a bigger escalation than asking a person not to watch your content in the future. And obviously the response from viewers will be different.
Can you clarify this? Is it true in practice that all you need to do is report the channel one time and all their videos will be flagged past, present, future? No, I don't even know what the f that means. I don't know what he's even talking about there. I need to go see what happened with the CGP Grey situation because people keep bringing it up. But as always, usually when people bring shit up, it's completely misrepresented. But I'm not sure what happened with CGP Grey.
Videos. Now, he could have claimed the content, the monetization, as I mentioned earlier, without a copyright strike, without a takedown. Now, at last note, he was doing okay that way. I've been told that he, when it was still public, before he privatized that information, he was making somewhere real close to about $200,000 a month on Patreon alone. And
wait, I need way more context on this. Also, wait, hold on. Did CGP Grey, hold on, actually, let me get my hand on this. Did CGP Grey himself DMCA channel, or is he part of a network that does auto copyright takedowns too? I'm curious. Vaguely relevant response to the CGP Grey. I don't know if I want to run down. He himself did it? Oh, okay, I'm so curious what happened then. Vlogging through history, post an update video on the matter with CGP Grey. Essentially, instead of CGP Grey simply claiming the revenue like most record labels do of content with features or music, CGP Grey took the nuclear option, issued a formal copyright strike on VTH's channel. In order to enforce the strike, CGP Grey would actually need to sue VTH for copyright infringement, which shows how serious this matter is. Doing a strike on some channel. Wait, what? No, he doesn't have to. He would only have to sue him if. Bro, nobody even knows how any of this shit works. The only way you have to take somebody to court is if they not reject. When you, there's a word I'm looking for, when you fight against somebody else's DMCA. Oh, counterclaim, maybe, yeah. Regardless of the details of the story, the largest tweet I saw about this was only a couple thousand likes. That's what this guy did. And did CGP Grey take him to court? I'm so curious what... I'm so curious what the context was of all of this. The context is that the content was cucked. Thanks. The complaint I have about Chris is that he rarely makes his own content. He just reacts to other stuff. It's easy to watch somebody's video and just add stuff. Oh, is that what happened? Vlogging through history.
Hey everybody, welcome. I know that
Historian reacts. Historian reacts. Historian. Oh. Wait, is that what he does?
Welcome back, everyone. Well, today is July the 8th.
And one regiment at a time. Now, our best hope is that that leading regiment can keep the Rebs occupied long enough for reinforcements to exploit the breach.
And I want to just point out that Matthew Broderick in this film.
Okay, base.
Get their ships in.
Oh, like he's doing stuff too. I think his vids are usually pretty transformative. Yeah, I'm joking, but they could be, yeah. So he probably did a
Welcome back.
So what, he did a video like this to CGP Grey, and CGP Grey copyright struck him? Were people, what is like the, can somebody give me the most viral response to this? Were there a whole bunch of people that were mad at CGP Grey for DMCAing this guy? Like, give me the most viral reaction to this. Because CGP Grey is a really huge YouTube channel. Is that not a valid copyright strike? It's, when you ask if a copyright strike is valid, that's a hard and misleading question. Any copyright strike is kind of technically sort of valid as long as you're filling out the affidavit in good faith, meaning you believe that your copyright is being infringed. But technically, fair use is an argument that you would use in court to protect yourself against copyright infringement claims. There's not like a hard and fast, like, this is fair use and this isn't fair use. Fair use is an argument that you use in court. I think it's, would fair use be considered an affirmative defense? Let me check. I don't know. But it's kind of like, it's like self-defense basically, I think. If you find that the defendant has proved by a preponderance of the evidence that the defendant made a fair use of the plaintiff's work, your verdict should be for the defendant. Fair use is generally an affirmative defense. Yeah, okay. Okay, where were we? Boom, boom, boom. The most viral I can find is 1.3 thousand likes, and they call CGP Grey a villain arc. Okay, so then CGP Grey, the largest YouTube, well, one of, I shouldn't say, I'm sorry, a huge YouTuber that almost everyone knows about, even he didn't get a huge response for DMCAing somebody. And this is recent too. So no, so I'm ejecting that whole thing. I don't think there would be a hugely negative response to any of this. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. If there wasn't even one, two. Oh, and CGP Grey even got more likes copyright claiming him. Indeed, one day at YouTube Creators needs to explain to me how someone watching a complete video of mine while eating lunch and adding a couple comments is fair use. Meanwhile, using a few seconds clips of something from Disney could be an instant and irreversible copyright strike. And he got 3,000 plus likes on this. And that's even with people attacking him in the comments. Ludwig is here. This was against Ludwig? Oh, was it? It was 2 years ago. Oh, shit. Oh, so this wasn't even the same video. Oh, damn. Oh, damn. CGP Grey going hard. As a creator, it's so frustrating and dispiriting when you spend hundreds of hours working a thing and somebody just screenshots that thing and it gets thousands of more upvotes of the thing itself. Extra frustrating because in this case, the screenshot is near meaningless without the context. And he downvoted it. You probably got on all 3 of his Reddit accounts to downvote that post. But yeah, bro, it's an image. Of course an image is going to get more upvotes than an entire video. I know that he's got, I know he's got 3 Reddit accounts because he's a Destiny fan. And you get permabanned on at least 1 per year, so.
Out of that. So to address the other interpretation, where nuking a person's channel off the internet would be met with the same response as explaining to viewers why you shouldn't watch a person's content.
You don't need to nuke their shit off the internet. Destiny, genuine concern. I think a lot of creator content is just generally built on a gentleman policy of not using the legal system. I feel like a lot of creators think DMCA is Pandora's box. We begin to see widespread use of it. Then just threaten it. Hello? If Russia can threaten to use nukes, you can threaten to use a DMCA without actually doing it. Russia's not going to nuke anybody. And you don't have to DMCA them. It's called saber rattling, okay?
Big difference, of course, is that you're avoiding all the cries of DMCA abuse.
Yeah, not to mention what August is saying too, is that like if you file a DMCA on YouTube these days, you can even put somebody on notice. It doesn't even necessarily have to be, you don't even have to tell them. Like if you file a DMCA on YouTube now, removal options, removal timing for targeted videos, scheduled, send a 7-day notice. Once the request is validated, YouTube gives the uploader 7 days to remove the video and avoid a copyright strike. If they don't, the video is removed after 7 days. Like there are so many tools at your disposal. Again, nobody wants to do any of these things because they don't actually care. It's just like these people that build a reputation around like getting ass mad about streamers for whatever reason. Like nobody actually cares about this problem. There's so many ways to fix it.
DMCA abuse, what are you doing? But also in this context, viewers have a choice. They're having something explained to them that they can agree with or disagree with. You're not potentially nuking a channel out of existence to stop them watching it. You're saying, hey, stop watching this for these reasons. Upon reflection, the reason why Destiny's phrasing was so poor is likely because he was trying to strawman the original person's claim. A person saying that it makes sense to avoid the uproar that a DMCA claim might cause doesn't necessarily mean that person says to avoid any potential uproar caused by anything else. Especially when there are other things you can do that will cause either no uproar or less of an uproar. So not only was the wording bad, but it was also just a dishonest thing to say. Another person named Pedro says, reaction isn't net good overall. People don't like it because it seems like it's unfair. To some extent it might be, but there are many layers to it. And Destiny responds, people don't like it because popular shit on streamers at the moment. That's literally it, lol. Is the 2023 So Brave opinion streamer bad? Whenever any...
I put a trademark in there. I don't like how dark the trademark is.
People don't like it because
I searched for this on my emoji board, and for some reason the trademark is like black, and it made it look like I just put a lot of spaces there. That's very upsetting.
Shit on streamers at the moment. That's literally it, lol. Is the 2023 So Brave opinion streamer bad? Whenever anyone is criticized, one dishonest tactic is to try to broaden the criticism. Whereas like, hey, they're not just talking about me, they're talking about all of us, guys. We're all in this together. Well, it may look like they're attacking me, but actually they're attacking you as well. We're all in this together, guys. Only a portion of streamers are being criticized. And it's...
I don't even think I'm one of the streamers that was being criticized for this. I'm pretty sure it was focused on Hasan and xQc. I think it was initially focused on xQc and maybe Asmongold, and then Hasan's editor decided to throw his hat into the ring and drag Hasan into it. But I'm not even part of the people that are being like indicted. I don't think I'm even known necessarily for React content. Again, usually people don't like me because I put up my be right back screen and I just walk away from the computer. Hold on one second, right back.
In many cases, not even all reactors on Twitch. The ones who are seeing the most criticism are those who are reacting on Twitch and having those videos then re-uploaded to YouTube. Hell, Mutahar, the person with the highest likes tweet on this issue, he has a position. He's not that fussed about reactions on Twitch, but he cares when it goes to YouTube. So it's not all streamers, not even all React streamers, but just React streamers with YouTube channels where they re-upload these videos. But this is a very useful dishonest tactic whenever you're criticized. They're not talking about me, guys, they're talking about everyone. We're all in this together. This whole thing represents dishonest debating tactics, fierce delusion, a misunderstanding of the topic. Like again, you can disagree, but your criticisms should be made in light of understanding, not just throwing out whatever you feel like the other person's position should be. Destiny is like all of us. He can fall victim to his own emotional biases. And certainly he has a strong investment in the idea of reaction content continuing to be accepted on these platforms.
Wrong! That is not true. And I complained about this 4 years ago. I was one of the original streamers that hated React content. And I remember saying, I remember sitting in my goddamn apartment in Glendale. I was like, you know what? All these other streamers, Hasan with his 90-day fiance, Trainwrecks with his fucking Master Chef bullshit, these guys are gonna get the copyright strikes come down. I'm the only streamer that's gonna survive because I'm the only one that doesn't watch videos on stream. I'm the only one that plays games and all this other shit. Those guys are gonna get and guess how wrong I was. Guess how much of a retard I was. Because every mother streamer watched React content and blew their viewership up, sometimes 2, sometimes 10-fold in Hasan's case, doing the 90-day founder shit. I was so wrong. So the idea that I'm like mega invested in defending React, I'm not, bro. I can sit here and play. I will do more damage to myself with League of Legends than you have ever seen a streamer do to their career, okay? I have no problem playing autistic games or Factoria or whatever, all on stream. I can do this shit, no problem. But I like the assumption that I'm like defending React content because it's some huge part of what I do.
It's his business model. He's not going to debate this fairly. He's not going to...
My business model, yeah.
Care what people are actually saying. You just got to throw out shit and try to muddy the discourse, so hopefully you can skirt by another year. But that's life.
Skirt by another year. That's me, bro. Nice anime shit. How many... insert pedophile joke. Okay, what is this? Okay, why can't we put indentations on our paragraphs here? Oh, is this just a transcription of a YouTube video? 35 pages. Oh my God. Destiny, you literally have anime art as part of your stream? Yeah, because I love little children. The video timestamp featuring the graph from earlier.
But then we notice a little spike here on May 12th, because this is when everyone's favorite corporal decided he wanted to watch some real
This everyone's favorite corporal? Is that what it said?
Content, and he reacted to it. So you'll see a bump in viewership here because he's consistent about giving credit and linked the video to his stream after watching it. But even visually here, you'll notice an immediate decline. I did actually take the time to average all of these out, and as you can just visually see here, we have a pretty significant all of these out, and as you can just visually see here, we have a pretty significant decrease in viewership, presumably due to the fact that from this date, there are now 2 major copies of this video sharing the algorithm. And I think that's a pretty reasonable conclusion to make.
I'd be interested to see, like, what does the drop-off look on a normal video, but... Oh, hello, my friend.
Hey, Destiny, how you doing? Are you pissing everybody off again today? Is that what you're up to? Seems like it.
I've had a lot of good PR over the past while, so I'm ready to
and
fight.
To take it down a bit.
I need to fight. Yeah, I need to fight some people again. I'm ready. I need to.
Well, I was playing my video games, and people were like, "You got to talk to him. You got to talk him off this.
Bring
He's
the
going
energy."
nuts."
Yeah. What do you want?
I don't have energy. Australian? What the? What are you, Canadian?
Basically, they're Canadians are basically Americans, so I'm basically Canadian. That's how that works. Yeah.
It's like America's hat. It's not really the same thing, but I'll give it to you. It's fine. Oh, how do we figure this out? You know, we'll probably start with, like, I don't know, earliest principles. I saw that you were saying if someone like fully re-uploads and sort of cannibalizes the views, that would be.
I think that if there was one thing to complain about, I don't even know this, but if there was one thing to complain about, I think that reacting to a video that's been uploaded for less than a day and then getting your reaction to that video up on YouTube, like within that day, I could see people getting irritated about that. Because at that point, I'm not really sure if that would cannibalize, but I could see people getting ass mad about that. And that's fair, I think.
So principally underlying that, like, what's going on? What's the big issue? It's that they are entitled to money and views, and it's getting taken from them.
Principally, oof, that's a.
No, I'm actually intending today to figure out my position. Ultimately, I'm going to use you.
Well,
for
principally,
it.
there are there's a couple. I think principally, you'd have to go way back into what do we think about copyright, and that's a difficult question. Let's say, for instance, that somebody could violate somebody else's copyright and make $10 million without ever negatively impacting the original copyright holder. Would that be ethical or unethical?
It was interesting because you brought it up earlier, and I'm with you on it. The game one with stories and stuff. I ask it every once in a while when we're doing EFAP episodes. A long play is ethical, and obviously everyone knee jerk is like, of course they are. I enjoy them, and it's like that. Long plays, if for anybody who doesn't know, it's the just concept of you have the full game recorded and you don't speak. You don't say anything. You have people walking around and doing choices, especially games where like that matters. You can argue that's some level of the input from the creator. But if we have a game like the stuff from, is it Supermassive Games, where they make games that are like story based entirely, they're almost films. Little Hope would probably be the best example. It's a video game that really, that's a whole other conversation. It's barely a video game. But if they uploaded that in full and made money off it, is that right? Should that be done? And you know, you were talking about people not doing enough to respond to it. It's like, I wonder if the game company knew about it. They probably do know about it. They've decided that the promotion is enough to outweigh it. Kind of like whether or not you should stop shoplifting with extra security or not, because it's like spending, you know, the balances and stuff. I think that there's
to be as a quick addendum to that, some companies are aware of that, and some companies do take a stand against that. So, for instance, Atlas Games, which I believe made Persona, yes. Atlas Games, I believe, had a policy where once the game was released, they didn't want people streaming or uploading anything past like the first chapter of the game or something. And they said they would be striking people. You could upload like up to a certain part, and then they didn't want people spoiling the rest. So yeah.
Yeah, and I think Nintendo just outright, like I remember Total Biscuit almost swearing them off because of the shit that they did.
We don't talk about Nintendo because Nintendo lives in their whole other universe of stupid shit. Nintendo, like if you've got like a little brother walking around in the background of your video, like with a Zelda or a Link hat on, like they'll send like Japanese psyops assassins to your house to like kill you. Nintendo's in a whole other world of crazy shit.
Well, that's the thing, the part that makes this a little bit more reasonable, right? Is that we can both agree on either extreme. On one side, like when you've turned a 10-minute video into 10 hours with your commentary, it's like you've transformed that, that's yours. They can't claim that the money you've gotten from that should belong to them. That's a
yeah, but this is where the first principles thing is really important, because people keep bringing that up, but it's interesting. People say like transformative content is better. And it's like, well, why? Because it's transformative. Well, if your initial argument was the original video is harmed, in my personal opinion, I feel like transformative content might be more harmful than straight rips, right? Like, would I watch an original video or would I watch a boring Asmongold react to it? I'd probably just watch the original video, because why do I want like the shittier version, like maybe the chat on the side? I don't know. But for highly transformative content, there might be times where it's like, this guy uploaded a video, I don't know if I trust it or not. I'm just gonna wait until somebody that I trust reacts to it, and then I'll see like if it's good or not, right? So in that sense, I feel like transformative videos can be far more harmful. There are probably certain online content creators that will give a take on something political, and people won't watch that original video, but they'll wait for me to respond to it to know why they do or don't like it. But they have no desire to engage with the original, and they're just looking for my transformative reaction to it. So in that sense, that would be a highly transformative reaction, but it would actually be damaging to the initial video, because nobody wants to watch the initial, they just want to see the response to it, you know?
Which is why I think that this is a mess, this whole conversation with everybody involved, because everyone's darting from different positions and defending different positions, and a lot of people who are included when they shouldn't be, or vice versa. I've seen people say, like, why would you take any issues with any of this when you run a React channel? It's like, that's true, but I love reactions. Like, if there's a video that's 10 minutes long talking about, like, everything that's wrong with American politics, and then you cover it, and you, let's say, turn it into a 20, 30-minute video, but you have really great research highlighting it, and then that person says, why don't you feel for me, Mauler? I got all my shit stolen by Destiny. Everyone's watching that video instead. I'd be like, yeah, good for you. Like, good for you, meaning Destiny. That you've taken the shit video, dramatically improved it, and transformed it into a brand new piece of content. I assume that's got to be a part of deciding whether or not someone is frustrated or not with the situation.
So this is what I always criticize people for, and I think you see it happening a lot here, is sometimes it feels like people are just trying to shit on people and they don't actually care about like helping people. It reminds me of when like progressives talk about like taxing billionaires, and it doesn't seem like they care as much about the social programs. They just want to like punish people for being billionaires. I think that if people cared, I think that there are a consistent set of guidelines that you could develop that I'm pretty sure streamers and YouTubers would be on board with. Firstly, I do think YouTubers do like reactions, because it does feel good to get your content in front of a whole new audience, even if you're not generally getting those views. Either one of two things happens. Either one, you're a really small YouTuber, in which case it's almost certainly going to help, or two, you're a larger YouTuber and you'd rather be in front of a new audience than just get like more money for a video, right? Like if I upload a video and it gets like 200,000 views, but it could have been 1 million views, but instead somebody like Lex Friedman or Joe Rogan reacts to it and they cannibalize all the views, I don't care. I'd rather have my video in front of their audience. I don't need the money on that video. I'm fine, right? I don't need the money for that video. I'd rather have the reaction in front of a different audience. But if you're really small content creators, probably having anyway. I feel like I think there were 3 things I said earlier. Is one, if somebody put out like a list of standards, like don't react to videos within a week of them being uploaded, I think that's fair. Even 1 or 2 weeks, I think that's totally fair. A second thing would be like requirements to link back to the person's either YouTube channel, original video, or Patreon especially. I think that's nice to like direct people back if they want to give money or whatever, if they appreciate it. So 1, 2. And then the third one, it would be nice if there was some sort of like big Word doc for like people to look up YouTube people, and if like, hey, if you want to react to my video, that's fine, just throw me $20 or something. Like, I think those are 3 things where it lets the reactors keep making money doing their shit, the audiences are happy, and the people having their reactions are having them in like the best way possible. That would be like a positive path forward that like makes everybody happy. But right now it seems like people are just really ass mad about streamers. Yeah.
So the funny thing about that is I would almost be annoyed with the rule that I have to wait a week before I can respond to a video, especially if it's like regarding something I consider like false information, which I know sounds absurd when I cover mostly media, but it can get pretty testy over in that side of YouTube. So like, you know, I feel like if I responded to something a day after it came out and then I had all the views on it and they were like, hey, what the supposed to give me a week, I'd be like, I don't care, your video was shit. Like it was actually spreading misinformation. Like I don't care to give you a week so that you can get views from it. Like
sure, but then you could just like respond to the video without actually like showing the video, right?
Possible, but I assume you're going to be uploading it with the concept that this is a video getting responded to, and people might end up choosing that instead and feel like, I don't need to see the original, you know?
Maybe. What is the time for this? I'm so sorry. Okay. Here's my chance. Yeah,
So
I can understand there being some drawbacks, but I mean, like, there are ways where, like, you would just have to try to make it so that your content is, like, highly transformative at that point, you know?
Well, just to
make sure,
clarify,
yeah.
because I assume when I was talking about extremes, right, I went one direction. Now I want to go with the other, which is that someone just re-uploads your video. I can't remember what you were saying, whether or not you take issue with that.
If somebody were to just straight re-upload my video, on a different channel, I think I would lean towards not liking it. I'm not sure how much I would care, but I'd probably lean towards not liking it. That'd be like a 55-45 thing.
Okay, and then I assume would these things change it if they re-upload it and it made a shit ton of money, had a shit ton of views, much more than yours?
I think that once you hit a certain like income level for streaming or YouTube, I think the only thing you start to care about is exposure. I don't think like if I miss out on like $2,000 from a video, but the cost of that is it gets in front of like 1 million viewers that wouldn't have ordinarily watched it, like I'd lose the money on that video every single time. Like
It's an interesting idea. I assume you mean that even if that channel was called like Blumpy and it's run by some guy in his basement who's just trying to get videos on that he doesn't want to have to work for, he uploads them, people would still be enjoying you and your coverage, and therefore your notoriety would be going up.
I don't think I would like that as much. So sorry. I'm sorry. It's just something.
Okay, I got your stream. I can see what you're doing.
It's all good. We watch Forsen. We all struggle with him psychologically. Okay, sorry. There was a legitimate argument. I remember Pokemon fought with a guy that did this a long time ago. And I guess we just don't talk about these channels anymore because people are really fixated on the streamers. But there used to be these channels where all they would do is like just re-upload either compilations or highlights from other people's content. And oftentimes they wouldn't link back to like anything. I think I could understand people being irritated about those channels. And I don't know, because like even my clips would show up sometimes, but like they don't link back to anything. People oftentimes don't even know what it is. Those people, sometimes the people that view that content have no engagement with other stuff. Like for instance, let's say Lex Friedman or Joe Rogan uploads a video of mine with no commentary for an hour. I'm probably okay with that. But if there's a channel called like Funny Politics Videos or something, and they just like upload a whole bunch of random shit and they throw a video of mine on, I'm like, I don't think I'm getting any value out of this whatsoever, you know?
Right, so it is determinant then on what you get out of the situation.
Maybe, yeah. There exists, like, I think I could probably come down. Channels that exist that don't even have like a person. It's not even like a person. It's just a channel that exists to like rip content from like other streams or YouTube videos and they just throw them up in like compilations or whatever. I think those channels are probably harmful to everybody. Yeah.
So, you know, the sort of defining the ethics through its consequences versus the act in and of itself, I would still take issue with that guy. Let's say he was a friend of mine, the guy in the basement, and he says, like, dude, I've been making, like, thousands off of blah, 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 and I'd just be like, you know, this scenario, he's making zero. He's like, I can't believe this isn't working. Uploading Destiny, Asmongold, all these different people, and it's not getting any traction. I'd be like, dude, why don't you make something? And then he'd be like, I can't, and they're way better. I would be like, I can't help but be critical of it in the same way that I feel like we're all kind of critical of like any content that does lack what we perceive to be like hard work or talent. Because I think you were almost implying like you want to figure out what it is that's annoying people, when it's amazing that they complain about this and yet you can fucking just stream a game, talk about anything. And you know, like vlogging, or lots of YouTube channels have been hyper successful off that, and it's like, do you take issue with them? They're relatively low effort.
Well, I think, yeah, the big issue with streaming, and this has always been the thing about streaming, is streaming as a content medium is some of the lowest prepared effort to highest financial gain of any content that's ever existed on the internet, right? Yeah, somebody can spend 6 months to produce a 3-hour video, and a streamer can spend 6 months doing 10 hours of content a day, and they'll get compensated way more for it. Although, to be fair, this is the way of all content, unfortunately, right? Like, people that take the time to produce higher quality content, like, oh my god, if you're an animator or something, like, that type of content is going to take so long, and it's harder to make money off of the effort put in versus like short form content, you know?
Well, it's interesting because I tried to listen to a lot of what you've been talking about today before we had a chat. You said, like, you know, there's a bit of a divide between streamers and YouTubers, that YouTubers might be mistaken in thinking like streaming is just the lazy people, when it's absolutely not the case necessarily, and vice versa, that YouTubers, just because they don't upload anything but once a year, that they're it's like they're not, what do they do, work for a week and then put it up and then do nothing?
I would fight against, I love shitting on streamers because I hate streamers. I hate everyone who's
I know.
Okay, because they're all horrible people. Okay, so I do like dishonest streamers, but I don't want YouTubers to dishonest streamers. Okay, because it's not like these guys are not like bastions
Well,
of
I
like
mean-
hardworking. Okay, like yeah. like,
So I feel uniquely like I'm almost at the point now I'm releasing one per year at about 6 hours long. The next one's coming out next month. But I also run a weekly stream where we react to videos. That's like a whole thing, or movies, or TV, or whatever else.
Sure.
And we've gotten I think 4 major episodes. I was hoping to get you on one of them to talk about reacting, and we went after our relevant denims, Hasan twice. They're just full of. I went to their streams and I looked through everything that they do, and then showed people what they do, and then we talked about it ethically. It's complicated. I don't deny that, but you know that's why I wanted to start easy with the Hasan one that we went after. Was I don't know if you know that when this happened. It was a couple of years ago, but he was watching Jay's video, JXC, and he got up and walked away. And most of the video plays when Hasan's not even on screen.
Ah, what a god.
Now,
Okay,
I assume we're on the same team. And we say like that's. Can we call that he's ought not to do that?
Yeah. So I guess the question is why not? Like, what? Remember you at the beginning of this? No, I'm not saying he should. Everybody's gonna interpret it as like, oh, he should be able to do it. But I'm curious, like, what is the reason why we don't like that? Is it because we perceive him as being lazy? Is it because there's some harm to the creator that's different there? Is it? Yeah, I'm curious. What is the first principles attack against that sort of reaction? Like, why do we not like that particular style of reaction?
Because I'm inclined to believe it's actually a big mix of both, and that's what's making this so complicated, is that people need to figure out exactly what they think and mean by all this stuff. I consider myself pretty critical of content that's hyper successful, that's based on basically zero effort. That would be one of the best examples ever, that he's making money off of nothing. And you might be like, well, what's wrong with that? Why can't someone do that? You know, in isolation of where he's gotten this content from or anything to do with JXC. And it's just... It's like an intuition thing. You've got not a great argument going for you. You just have to think about like what is it that's frustrating about that versus everyone else having to work so hard, I guess.
Yeah, and I'm curious because I ask you a question on that. Because intuitively I would agree with you, but then like so people will say like reacting is zero effort, you're gonna make a ton of money off of it. Couldn't you argue the same for anybody that just streams video games though?
Yes,
like you're literally.
I think so.
Yeah, just streaming video games. Yeah, go ahead.
The Little Hope game. If you streamed that and said nothing.
No. I mean, even any video. Like, let's say you stream League of Legends. Isn't that also like zero effort? Like, you're just playing games. Like, most people do that for free, right?
The reason why I get gun for Little Hope is because I don't think there's a scenario where you can actually justify it. Meanwhile, with something like League of Legends, if you were a pro player and you're concentrating and you're doing things that are incredible that no one else can do, or at least few people can, I think there's a lot of value in that. It's arguable, a form of transformative content, but obviously this is the problem, that the lore/understanding of everything hasn't caught up to the internet still with all of this. I think that's another problem, is everyone else, you know, you're talking about how like streamers don't react to this the way that their fans will often do. I think a lot of streamers don't know that this is a problem. In Jay's video about this, he wanted to very fairly ask all of his YouTuber friends, do they have a problem with the idea that someone fully uploaded their video reacting to it with zero reactions, it was just their video? Half of them said, yeah, that's fucked up. The other half said, no, it's fine.
Yeah, I saw that, and I'll represent that in the best faith. I don't think it was half. I think it was 10 and 5, wasn't it?
10 and 5?
I think 10 of them said they didn't want it, and 5 of them said they did.
It was the only thing I took away from it was the fact that we're seriously not at a point of agreement. Most people.
But I thought that was interesting, yeah, because that was him talking to his friends, and he's selecting for whatever. So like, even on the guy that was trying to make a point, it seemed like there were a lot of people that he asked was like, I don't really care that much as long as they credit me, you know?
Yeah, I think what people will intuitively take from it is, well, surely it promotes me, even if I don't get paid for that. It can only help, surely. And you know, if we then went into the stats, like I know Dark Viper does with trying to prove like definitively that either views are, I think it's almost like proving a negative. It's impossible to prove an alternate future sometimes. Like that video would have done better, trust me, bro. And it's like, I don't know that it would have, but I guess I can buy that it would have. Which is why I think that the more effective argument is that there's like to aim for the absolute lack of any kind of respectable input on their end, and yet they gain so insanely large amounts of it at the expense of sometimes provable elements, but they're still pretty tenuous, so it gets very complex. Like the concept of, I don't want them gone. I don't think I want to ban anybody for it. I want to heavily discourage and arguably shame it. So like
the React content.
Well, I do React content, right? So like it's I'm trying to think of an example of a time where you've covered plenty of videos that I would never have watched. You covering them does not mean that I was going to watch them if you didn't, because I'm actually there for your input. There are videos you've covered where I share the sentiment in some of the comments where it's just like, what was the point of that? I was just watching their video and I didn't even like their video. Like, I want to hear what you have to say. It's just like an ironic problem because it's not stolen views at that point. It's just views that would have become existing as a result of expecting something else. You were talking earlier about the ContraPoints one. That's taken down now, is it?
Yeah, because every now and then I'll be doing nothing on stream. We just have a video while I like play a game.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of like watching. I don't have much to say about it, but for some reason my YouTube editor wanted to fuck me hard that week and decided to throw that one completely onto YouTube.
Well, but that seems really interesting to me. The fact that you seem to be reacting quite hard to the concept of it being there right now. Is that beyond optics, or is it just because you knew people might use it against you?
Well, one, it was because it's just not like, why would I upload somebody else's video to my channel? Like there's
that's
no point. And
so
then,
that's kind of where I'm at with all of it. It's like if I had a friend who was doing it, I'd be like, okay. And you know, I've heard every argument, right? Hasan said in response to us, like, because he found out that EFAB code and fucking, I think he confused us with every frame a painting, which was hilarious because everyone in his chat got really upset about it.
Yeah.
But he looked at the argument of like, when he goes to make food and eat it, he shouldn't be playing a video. And he interpreted that as he's not allowed to leave then. And he's like, what do you want me to do, die? And it was like,
or
Jesus
just not
Christ.
watch a thing, yeah.
Well, there's so many options. Why don't you just play stuff from your older streams temporarily, funny moments or whatever?
Sure.
You've done the obvious, which is a BRB screen, but like you can play stuff from your own shit. You don't have to play someone else's video. And then, of course, because like, someone else I find really interesting about this, because I'm with you on this is so messed up and complicated. You know, like the permission argument, basically. Like, if someone gave us permission, then why the f are you mad? They've already said they're okay with it. I assume you'd agree there are times on Earth where two people are consenting to an act that you actually consider immoral.
That's like but that doesn't apply. You're asking, it's kind of the question like, can you sell yourself into slavery? Is that like an ethical trade if both people are consenting?
Sure.
Yeah.
If we can go with something simpler and chiller instead of slavery, something like a guy is doing a contracting job and it's an old lady who's just like, I need a toilet fixed, and he says, yeah, that's going to be $5,000. When let's say the job going to cost $500, and she's like, oh geez, okay, yeah, sure, and you'd be like, you can do that, but that seems a bit f***ed up. Like,
Sure.
It's like, well, she agreed. And you're
Yeah,
like,
no, like
I know,
there can definitely be things that are unethical. Why is this not going to this sector over here? But I feel like we're pretty far away from that for React content. I don't think we're in like any super ultra exploitative territory where people are like have an inability to consent because this content is so hyper.
Also,
yeah.
In an equal way that we can't necessarily prove what video views have been taken away, we can't prove the opposite, right? And so I think a lot of creators probably like Lemmino, because you actually brought up that a lot of YouTubers can't even survive being on streams, which is true. I imagine a lot of them, I don't mean to be rude, but a lot of them can't deal with a lot of social scenarios, and the idea that they're going to take any kind of public action against someone is just like, nah, I'm doing okay. Lemmino is doing okay, so is Internet Story, and plenty of these channels are doing f***ing amazingly, whether or not Asmongold or Destiny react to them. And so it's just like, I don't think I'm going to get anywhere near DMCAing them publicly.
Yeah, I guess, but if this is such a huge problem for so many YouTubers, it seems like it would be trivial for everybody
It's
to
interesting.
Just, like...
I'm not sure it is a huge problem for loads of YouTubers. It's that nothing gets done ever since, I feel like the first time this really blew up was Jinx. I assume you remember that as well.
I don't. I know everybody references it, but can you catch me up? Like, what happened with that?
It's just a YouTube channel that started going really, really, really popular, and all he did was he would just take a video from someone else, sit in the corner, and go every once in a while, and that was it. He did all of the ASDF animations, and like he was just like, that's funny. People were like, holy f***, and he'd get like 1 million views. He was getting to 1 million subscribers, and the funny thing about that is like those ASDF videos are still doing brilliantly well, but I seriously think it's an intuitive thing. Everyone was just like, that seems fucked up. That guy over there is doing as well as that guy over there, but he's just using that guy over there. That's not right. But like arguing it is difficult. I would never deny that, but I'm mainly more concerned about the extreme sides. If you turn a 20-minute video into a 40-minute one, I think I'm okay with that. I think that's considered transformative.
Again, the only thing that's
fine.
interesting that we talked about before is back to that first principle. It's like, why do we or don't we like React content? Because that was my, I don't think you were here when I was making the point, but my point was that a very, very, very transformative content might actually be more detrimental to the original than not, right? If somebody watches me do a 2-hour response video to a 30-minute Ben Shapiro video, they're never watching that 30-minute Ben Shapiro video, right? Why would they? They've already seen my whole response to it.
I assume we're in a position where it's like trying to define the difference between killing and murder, which is straightforward. This is like, you can do it as long as you're transforming. If you're not, you can't. Like,
yeah, but then that's my only question is, why are we okay with the transportative content? Because it makes it feel like if we're okay with the transportative content, then we don't actually care about harm to the original creator. That's what it feels like,
I think that's something most people would agree with anyway, in terms of like there's gonna be harm done to creators who are awful when you cover their anything. Even you don't have to cover their videos, you can do harm to creators, but it's harm in and of itself is not a principal issue. It's going to be dependent on the context. But in this case, people would say it's undue harm.
Maybe. I don't know.
But the counter, of course, is that there's the opposite of that, isn't it? It's undue, or not undue, but due praise of that channel and possibly engagement. And I know that this is pretty much my position, and I assume it might be yours, but like Jay's video's conclusion is just credit the person you're responding to and try and please add to it. It's very simple requirements, you know? Because from what I've seen of the worst, like it just feels fucking wrong, and I feel like the world would be just fine if because you were saying earlier about the Internet Historian mining or whatever it was, the hole. I'm just gonna say the big hole caves, that video. That what the fuck are you gonna say about it? And I'm genuinely interested in your answer of just if you feel like you're probably not going to say anything about it, why not watch that in your own time instead of something that you would have something to say about?
Yeah, I mean, it just depends on how. That was only in response to some people, because some people will say that, like, I wish that my streamer would watch some things, but I wish they'd react more to other things. But, like, depending on the content that the streamer is going to watch, like, for some things, I wouldn't expect the streamer to have any reaction, especially for, like, documentary-related things. Like, I don't expect, like, nobody's going to have much of a response to the JFK video, unless you're, like, a JFK conspiracy theorist, like, expert, right? I wouldn't expect anybody to have any response to it.
So I find that one interesting too. So if you did have something to say about it, then I mean, if I can come up with something as an example of what you could maybe say about it, would you want to feel like changing the argument, or would you just be like, well, yeah, maybe I could say that? And
I mean,
what I'm referencing is just like maybe the construction of the video, how he presents his arguments, how he argues in general, whether or not we can trust what he's saying based on everything that he's covering, the animations he uses, the artwork, obviously. The way he speaks, is it convincing, or is it awkward?
Yeah, I mean, you can do that, but I feel like at some point it's going to be a meme. Because I said before, like, you'll pause, like, wow, I really like the voice work here. Like, I don't know if you could do that much for like an hour.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
I would hate it, because that's the thing, right? Jinx could just pause once per 10 seconds, go, ha, oh yeah, that's funny, that is real funny. Am I transforming this? Like, he looks around like, does this count? It's like, no, I only want you to do it if you're actually passionate and you actually have things to say, of course. It's just that I would opt that if you realize, like 5 minutes in, like, I've got nothing to say, if you guys are interested in carrying this on, it's from Lemmino, it's about this, go ahead. I'm going to watch it later because I got nothing to say. I would way prefer that as an outcome.
Sure. I guess, yeah, it comes down to that first principles thing of, like, why do we or why don't we care about certain types of content, I guess. Which I still don't know if we've actually, like, figured that out.
So what content are you surprised people don't care about?
What content?
Would it be like the gaming stuff?
What content am I surprised that people don't care about?
Yeah, because like I assume you're going with the direction that, principally speaking, it sounds like this should have overlap with a bunch of other content that nobody says anything about.
Oh, I guess. Oh no. For me, I was just thinking from that first principles thing. I'm curious what is truly making what truly makes people upset. Because I see so many different arguments thrown out and so many different things said. It feels like people are just mad sometimes at, like, either streamers are making money or they just generally don't like streamers. Because I feel like the first principle thing is, like, I don't like that my streamer's getting harmed, or I just don't like that it's copyright infringement. I don't like the arguments are all over the place. So I'm just curious, like, what is the actual, like, fundamental reason why people are so upset over?
I think most would want to cite theft. It's you're taking something that someone else created and you're using it to benefit in one way or another. And whether or not it's with their permission, like I said, we'll go for this example, we can say without permission.
Yeah, I guess that would be an argument. Then I'd make people really mad because then I'm curious about the ad block and the pirating takes that everybody seems to be really keen to defend.
Well,
but
if you wouldn't mind, I would love to talk about them. So with piracy, are you saying, like, people should have they shouldn't be pirating shit if they're going to say that stealing's bad?
Probably, or at the very least, I'm sympathetic towards pirating for people that don't have money for things, because you're not going to buy it either way. I do think that ad block has probably been one of the most destructive things that has, like, radically shaped how the internet functions right now. But I think people benefit so much from ad block that they don't ever want to, like, discuss it.
Yeah, I'm absolutely with you on these. These are going to be things you need to speak to each individual, see what their principles are, and I doubt they're going to hold up. Piracy is one of the best ones ever for proving people actually don't hold to things, because ultimately, like, I've pirated a lot of things even recently for the goal of actually getting access to it. As someone who needs references that go back really far, and I couldn't get LA Noire to actually run on my PC. I bought it, wouldn't work. Pirated it, did work. It's these kinds of scenarios that, like, piracy is incredibly important. But there are people who just pirate
I'm not gonna disagree
everything.
there. Like, I pirated Game of Thrones after paying for it on HBO because I couldn't figure out how to like authorize from my phone. This is fucking retarded.
And so, but the people who pirate everything and then say like, oh, I wish they made like more good, whatever show instead of more of the shit. And it's like you're not even buying the one that you think is good. You're not showing them any support. You're pirating the shit out of it. It's like you should probably. I like to have hard copies of like all of my favorite shows and movies and stuff. But so that one is going to be wavy, depending on who you're talking to, and you could probably convince them to be better with that, but then you come in between them and their wallet, so it starts to get more interesting for them, right? But with ad block, so what's your position on ad block exactly?
I feel like ad block is an incredibly destructive force on the internet that the vast majority of people don't need to engage in at all. They just do it for convenience sake.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's probably the #1 drain on creator income, or almost certainly the #1 drain on creator income over any other thing that's ever existed on the internet. But I think that people like their ad block for understandable reasons a lot, so they try to like mental gymnastics their way out of caring about it. But like, for instance, because it's one of the frustrating takes because people never want to think about it, but like if you were to pull every single creator on the internet, the ones that hate xQc Hasan more than anything else, if you could pull every creator on YouTube and say you have the option today to either delete React streamers or delete ad block, what would you do? Like, it would be ad block in a heartbeat. It would just dramatically change everything with how we engage with stuff on the internet.
I think you're right. Do you think that their hypocrisy as individuals would have any weight on this argument as a whole? About reactions?
Well, it's just the thing that's difficult, kind of going back to the beginning, the first principles thing, is I can't tell sometimes what people's arguments actually are. That's the only frustrating thing. Because like,
I'm doing the same thing as you. I've got premium or whatever it's called for YouTube.
Yeah, same. Yeah, and I had Twitch Turbo and everything too. Yeah, and then I've got like subscriptions to like 5 different fucking websites or whatever. But the but like if somebody's like, oh, like I think it's depriving creators of revenue, this is like horrible. It's confusing to me if that's something that you feel so strongly about, why are you putting so much like weight onto React streamers that probably have a minimal, if any, impact, and not more on things like adblock, which are
This is the thing. I've in the past said, like, I completely understand people pulling up adblock with really obstructive and obtrusive ads that get like all over everything. But if you feel like you want to support a content creator and you can't send donations, you can't like buy whatever merchandise, you just like, yeah, I can't do anything. I'm not pouring it, but I do run ad block at your channel. It's like, that seems weird. I feel like you should probably leave that off if you want to help out. Like, that's obviously what would happen. So yeah, no, I get that too. It's just that, like, obviously I'm not useful to talk to on that one because I think I'm in line with most of what your positions are for piracy and ad block. Which means mostly just comes down to the reactor stuff, which I feel like we're mostly on the same page. I'm struggling to find much to complain about.
Yeah, probably. Like I said, I think that there's I think that there are like reasonable arguments to be made for why fuck this and this. I think there are reasonable arguments to be made for like how people can engage with React. The 3 things that I gave earlier. It's just like the level of like vitriol and hatred that people have on this particular topic makes me feel like there are other types of arguments that people really want to make, but for whatever reason they aren't. And I just think that's very interesting to me. Yeah. Okay. Hold on. Wait. Oh, Mutahar, stop. Muta says if they get countersued, I think a lot of people are scared fighting richer people in court. If you DMCA somebody and the other person counterclaims you, the choice is yours to go to court. That doesn't force you into a court battle. Unless something has substantially changed by the DMCA process in the past week that I haven't heard about. If I DMCA somebody and they counterclaim me, they're like, no, I can use it. Oh, well, fuck me. The onus is then on me to go to court. I'm not automatically like in court now. Do you see the channel?
Yeah, no, I can jump in.
Okay. Oh God, Mood is there. Oh, we're fighting.
You're already here.
Every YouTuber today. Yeah, bring him in. All right.
Yeah, I texted Muda. I said, get in there.
Good. Bring the rest of them.
Go ahead. People of color. Okay. Go ahead, Muda. I'll let you go first since you kicked off this whole debacle. It's your fault. I think he's still setting up.
I'm coming in right now. I'm on a different computer. I'm editing right now, so I'm not like totally in the game. But yeah, we were talking about DMCA. That's what I said in the chat. I think the thing with the DMCA is, like, from what I understand, based on if you file out a DMCA, and I've been DMCA'd a few times throughout my career, usually the scariest part about, like, filling out a counterclaim is that you are literally engaging, you are giving intent that you are going to go into a legal battle, and then, you know, both parties can get in. So,
well, the reason why
why
it's an intent is because, let's say that I DMCA you. If I DMCA you, what I'm basically doing is I'm telling YouTube, hey, Mutahar is using my content, and I might have to link to it. So I go, look, this is my content. He's using it, okay? So then YouTube will send you a notice, and they'll say, just so you know, we've received a takedown request from this guy. How would you like to respond? You're either guilty, and now your channel's got a strike, or you can say, fuck you, I do have the right to use this content. Now, if you acquiesce, and then you get a strike, then it's over. Or
wait, that's not true. You don't actually get a strike. You can actually choose the way it functions. There's a 7-day option and there's an immediate function.
No. Wait. That's if you're the one launching the DMCA, if you're making the initial claim. The person that's making the initial claim can do the 7-day option, or they can do an immediate strike. That is true. But okay. I'm just doing for the normal ones. The person that receives the strike, you now have the option of saying, okay, I do have the right to use this content, or no, I don't. And then you'll get a strike if they didn't give you 7 days to think about it, right?
No. It's I know the way that you guys are discussing it. So basically party A issues a DMCA strike to party B.
Yep.
Party B files a counterclaim,
Yes.
and then it's up to party A after like 2
Correct.
weeks to issue or provide like legal paperwork to YouTube, and then of course it becomes a legal engagement. Yes. But I think that's where the deterrent is, though, right? Like for a smaller creator who's looking at a multi-millionaire, right? It's like, man, do I really even want to start a fucking legal battle? Considering how the legal system is designed, like in the sense that if somebody richer wants to just drown you out, they absolutely can. And it's not even just the money; it's like the amount of time you spend.
That's not true. Just because we're not talking like patent trolling or some high level like corporate like super crazy shit. Like, I would be amazed if a larger content creator that was clearly in violation of copyright wanted to poke the hornet's nest to have somebody take them to court over copyright. Now, it's possible somebody could do that, but I would be shocked if that would happen.
Like, yeah, I've been on the internet so long that I wouldn't be shocked if there are some stupid idiots out there willing to.
I don't even believe that most big creators want to spend time doing that kind of legal battle, unless they really felt like they had a strong claim, which I don't think xQc does. Right, so the creators like that, if you
get a copyright claim, you're like, okay, fuck it,
they're gonna just accept it, because they know they're in the wrong in terms of how they're managing their content. So I don't even think people are doing the first step. Like, if you go to, have you ever done a removal request?
Me? No, I've never done a removal request to anybody.
Okay, so I can tell you guys, I've done a few of them, because sometimes I'll go look at the video and it's like 100% a match, meaning my video is literally 100% of their video, sometimes even 80-90. And when I see 80-90, I'm like, all right, you're not even talking, you're not doing anything. You have my video playing and you just sit in the background. So I just remove it. It's super easy, it's seamless, it's a few clicks, it's not complicated. So I give out those strikes. I don't give out strikes. I just give removal requests, and they don't lose their channel. So I think that is something that creators should use if they feel like some people are stealing their content. And you can see all this very easily. So when people say, oh, I don't want to do that because I'm afraid, I just don't buy it at all.
Well, that's in the copyright section of the Creator Studio. I showed this in like a year ago when I talked about this exact same topic. One of the things that I wanted to talk about was when like some of the streamers say, just claim the footage. People do it all the time. And it's like, the claiming system is different. I wish the claiming system was a little bit more accessible, but it's pretty much locked to MCNs and like the biggest production studios at the moment. Like that, you know. If that was the case, like a lot of videos could be claimed by actual creators and then like fucking they could get the revenue. But even when we're looking at that, I really wish YouTube had a system where like if like Abba, for instance, if your video was like 80-90% reacted, the algorithm could shift towards promoting your content over the reactor again, right? Like if that was an option, or I don't know how YouTube's backend would do that, but
this is so crazy because I just noticed that Just Pearly Things reacted to one of my videos a year or two ago, and it was 90% of her video. So now I get to remove it.
Jesus Christ.
Damn it.
Oh,
you
boy.
just do that right now.
So I mean, the ease of DMCA is probably irrelevant compared to what we can talk about now that you two are here.
Yeah, well, but it is a thing that I would like to point out, because like if there's some huge harm being committed here, it's so easy to DMCA people. I can't imagine why nobody's even thought to explore the option if there's so much harm being suffered here, so much injury.
Well, we kind of wouldn't you argue that is what the goal is with getting it louder and louder to let more content creators know that is normal?
But who's getting it louder and louder? It's like people that aren't even affected, right?
I mean, people are pissed off by it.
Yeah, but they're not affected.
I don't know that they need to be affected to be pissed off by it.
Yeah, but it's like saying that, like, it's like when a whole bunch of white people got together to say we really need to call brown people Latinx instead of Latino.
Okay, yeah, no, but that's because the argument
Okay,
is
but those
retarded.
people are like
That's not-
legitimately mentally ill. Let's
No,
not
no, I know,
compare
but I'm just saying that, like, it feels like
when
there's
a bunch
like,
of
it feels like there's like
when a
the
bunch
same
of white
4
people
or
get
5.
together for black rights, that's not bad. That's good.
Sure,
Like,
yeah, but I'm just saying it feels like the same 4, but also black people want rights too, right? I'm just saying it hits.
That's my point, though.
But it hits
Like,
different when there are 4 or 5 YouTubers that always complain about this. But it feels like a lot of the larger content creators and even people who's had their stuff reacted to generally don't seem to care or don't say much about it. Like, if there was a whole bunch of people coming and saying, like, yeah, this guy reacted my video, I hate this, or a whole bunch of people like, yeah, I hate it when this happens, blah, blah, I think it would hit a lot different. But it seems like it's usually people that aren't affected that are saying, like, this is the worst thing ever, and it's so horrible and evil, and it's like, eh.
Well, but like, what if, over time more and more creators are actually buying the argument that, yeah, this is something that shouldn't be happening? A lot of them probably aren't even aware of how much isn't contributed sometimes. I don't know that they watch all the reactions. They just know that it's happened and it's on a big channel, therefore it must be good.
Maybe, but I mean, I think as
Maybe.
more people get involved, like, I think I definitely, I would view it a lot differently, right? Like, let's say, for instance, and I'm not poking any bears here or blaming Mutahar or anything, but like, let's say on day 1, let's say that is it Lemmino? Is that the guy's name?
Yeah.
Let's say that Lemmino would have tweeted out, like, I put all this work on this video, all these motherfuckers are reacting to it, fuck these pieces of shit. Then it's like, okay, like, that would definitely, I could see that. But when it's a whole bunch of people that aren't even involved, I don't know, it just feels a little bit different sometimes,
Well, I don't know. I just like the amount of people being annoyed by it or not.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how relevant that is to us figuring out whether or not it's the right thing to do, or should be stopped, or should be shamed, or should be DMCA'd,
Well, I think it's relevant because the principles are all over the place in terms of, like, who actually...
Yeah, you got to cut through the noise.
So when the principles are all over the
agree on
place,
that.
then I'm looking at, like, well, who are the injured parties, and are they, like, ultra mad? And if they're not, then it's like, I don't know, I don't care that much about it. But I mean, it could still be a bad thing. Like, you are correct. Like, other people can point out, like, well, hold on, this is a bad thing. Even if these guys aren't complaining about it. But it just seems like here the injury is so hard to even see. Like, it's hard to know if things are even negatively affected. So the outrage, like, when I see the outrage in response to this, I'm thinking, like, holy shit, there must be like a new set of machinima contracts or something for people to be this mad. But then it's like, well, some streamers react to some videos in some ways that are kind of unethical, and I think some people might be experiencing losses, and that's why streamers are literally the devil. And
Well,
it's like,
I think it just looks like the most like influencer thing possible, in that we already have a perception of influencers and content creators that they're lazy and they don't work hard for what they do. And now we're watching somebody go to the bathroom while they play another content creator's content and adding nothing of value and getting like making money off of it and entertaining their audience. So it's just like it's almost like a parody of itself in a way.
And that's
I think
fine,
that's why it's so
but
inflammatory.
Yeah, but you understand, like, that's a fine argument. Like, if somebody is irritated by, like, these guys are doing no effort and making money and blah, 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 that's okay. But the problem is where the virtue comes in. When people are coming like, this is destroying small creators, blah, blah. No, it's not. You just don't like the fact that people are being lazy as fuck and they're making tons of money off it. But I think that argument is fair. But when people start moving on to all the other arguments, it's like, okay, well, now it doesn't really make as much sense anymore. And the level of outrage isn't, like, matching the actual crime, I guess, is what, yeah.
Sure. I'm not disagreeing.
I'm more than happy to say it's been overreacted to, but the problem I think is that it just
reacted to. Get it? Sorry.
That's what I was going for. Too dry probably, but as the years have gone by, nothing gets done about it. Jack Films is one of the better responses to it that I've seen over time, and his newest video, he basically like laments that apparently things are never going to change because they're only getting worse, arguably, and more broad. His attempt now is to react to the reactions and grade them, which I thought was hilarious.
Yeah, but
maybe
I feel
it'll
like
make a difference.
when we say nothing is getting better, nothing is changing, I feel like it's because it's just not that much of a problem. Because there are so many incredibly easy ways for this to never happen again. Like, if 10 or 15 YouTubers got together, like, we're going to start DMCAing people, or, like, it would be over. Like, it would only take, like, 3 DMCAs on, like, across like 2 big Twitch channels for people to be like, whoa, we're not reacting anymore. Like when the record labels came down and started getting people in trouble for listening to music, bro, nobody on Twitch streamed a single fucking copyrighted song for like 3 weeks because everybody was so scared. Yeah.
Here's a question then.
Yeah, but the difference there is like the record labels are like multi-billion-dollar organizations.
And yet they did the exact same process that's available to a guy making $50 a month on his YouTube channel. You just file a DMCA.
Yeah, but I mean, legally, if a multi-billion-dollar organization is going to stamp out a multi-million-dollar streamer, that's like fucking pennies to them, man. That's like...
No, but the DMCA doesn't cost you. It doesn't cost you any money. It's free.
Yeah, but the day you go into court, though, that's when it starts costing you fucking arms and legs.
Yeah, but you only have to go to court if you want to. If you're the one filing the DMCA, the other party can't force you to go to court.
Out of curiosity, would you encourage someone like Lemmino, even if he had no problem with it, to DMCA?
I'm not fully convinced that there's even necessarily a problem. I don't think I would ever encourage people to DMCA, but I would say that, like, if it's a severe problem, if it's as severe as some people are saying it is, well then yeah, of course, if that's running. Like, if you truly feel like you're being deprived of like 10, 20, 30, 50% of your revenue, and like, and you tell a streamer like, bro, stop watching my shit, you're stealing my content, and he doesn't listen, then yeah, I would say fucking fire away. But like, my guess is the vast majority, 99% of React streamers or YouTubers would probably fuck off if other YouTubers came out like, hey, just letting you guys know, if people are watching my shit, I'm probably gonna start DMCAing it because I think it's negatively affecting my channel. Like, easy. And I think people would just stop. I don't think you'd ever have to file like a single DMCA. People would just stop doing it.
Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, it always seems like an overreaction to a lot of people to do a DMCA. So maybe that's the thing that we've got to work at, is encouraging people that that's an okay process.
I mean, I could probably ask every person in this call right now, and I think you would all agree. Like, Muta, if I sent you a message and I said, listen, if you ever show a clip of me on your fucking YouTube channel again, I'm gonna fucking DMCA you. Like, you might make a video talking about it, but I bet you'd probably be scared of showing anything on your fucking channel. No? I know I would be.
Say it again. Sorry.
If I were to message you and I was like, Muta, if you show a clip of me ever on your YouTube channel, I'm gonna start fucking DMCAing you. I don't ever want my shit on your channel, right? You might talk about it, but I don't know if would you actually risk it, like starting to throw clips up? It would frighten the fuck out of me. I'd be like, well, fuck it, I'm just not gonna show any of this shit. Like, I feel like most people.
If anybody threatens me with litigation, I never talk about that, because fucking any litigation, I just send that to the lawyer. Like, legitimately, I take that shit so fucking seriously.
Yeah.
But like, correct me if I'm wrong though, there isn't a disagreement then, because you seem to be conceding that it's worth DMCAing as long as the creators feel so.
Me? Well, I mean, like that.
Or Destiny.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's that's like literally what the tool is built for. Yeah, if you really feel like you're getting fucked over. Yeah.
I don't, because like I said, I'm not sure if I would. I'm not sure what scenario would make me do it. There's probably going to be one. But if Lemmino did it today with like xQc and the others, I wouldn't judge him for that at all. I'd be like, yeah, makes sense.
I want to ask a different question though, because I think we're more focused on like the big creators being able to do this. But I think a lot of this really kind of started off with Sniper SS Wolf and what she does on TikTok.
Yeah.
I think it's very different when it's cross-platform, because my understanding is doing a DMCA strike for things that are cross-platform is actually rather difficult. It has been in my experience. So I think for a lot of the creators that she's ripping from, which are smaller creators or people who are just doing stuff on TikTok and grabbing their videos and then doing compilations herself, like, would you say your only restitution or solution for that Destiny's DMCA?
I mean, I don't know why it's difficult. Why do we think it's difficult to DMCA people cross-platform?
In my experience, having tried it, it hasn't been effective, because like proving that you're the copyright owner is rather difficult, whereas on YouTube, if it's on your channel, then they can cross-reference that with whatever it is that you're trying. But if it's on a different system, they have no way of knowing who it belongs to.
So my understanding is, if you want to qualify for safe harbor provisions, you don't require somebody to prove they're the copyright owner. Because this is why you sign I'm pretty sure it's an affidavit under penalty of perjury, I believe, because when you're signing the affidavit, you're saying, I swear, like legally or whatever, I swear this is my content. But I don't think you have to actually go through a formal process to prove it. They might ask you to link to it to discourage people from trolling with it. But yeah, like, because it looked like when I looked at the...
No, but I think if it's up to you to like risk taking the lawsuit, because you're right, like Party A sends a DMCA, Party B sends a counterclaim, it's up to Party A to sue, right?
Yeah.
So I think the scary part is, it's like, okay, let's say that like fucking you had a really small creator, the guy's like fucking living paycheck to paycheck pretty much on the platform. So he knows that he's in the right, you know? Goes up against a bigger streamer, the bigger streamer files a counterclaim. Now it's really a roll of the dice on the smaller guy's part, or really anybody's part, to like go to court, get a lawyer. Immediately, like, they're already financially down, and then they're even further down because of it. And like, the problem with suing YouTubers, and why I absolutely say suing each other is never the answer, is because one day it'll just set really bad precedent, and then like a lot of companies will start taking advantage of that, bigger organizations. I mean, literally the last 48 hours, I don't know if you guys ended up getting one of these, but you had the world record, like Guinness Book of World Records in your fucking metadata. You were getting like hit with copyright strikes and everything. So again, when lawsuits get handed out and like precedent gets set, I just don't really want bad precedent. And honestly, YouTubers suing YouTubers is just like a landmine.
I guess I disagree, because it doesn't feel like bad precedent. Like, this feels like, if you like, our legal system is a good thing. DMCA is a good thing. We want to be able to protect our copyright. We want to be able to sue people. I don't think we should shy away from these tools when they're the most appropriate like place for restitution, right? Or like, yeah.
Well, I'm with you on that, and I think that maybe the part of the problem here is to encourage people that it is easy, straightforward, and that you'd be right to do it in a lot of these scenarios.
Sure, or at the very least, like as a step one, like make your will known. Instead of it being like Muta and the DarkViperAU, the guy that wears adult diapers or whatever, instead of it just being like the same like 3 or 4 people complaining on Twitter, like if the creators themselves that are being affected would come out like, hey, I hate this, I don't like this, my guess is that this type of React content would stop like overnight. People would stop doing it. It would be immensely unpopular. YouTubers and probably other streamers would unite against you. And like I think even your own audience would be like, yeah, it's probably shitty that you're just like ripping this dude's content. Like I genuinely think that's how it would go. I don't think people are saying there'd be a huge backlash from streamers, but I mean, I think most streamers realize that you're on a free fucking ride when you just put a dude's video on and then you like walk away for like 30 minutes or whatever, you know?
Oh, then.
I think even with the DMCA, the intent of like certain streamers who like for instance, like when they put on like a movie from like Metro Goldwyn Mayer, like Universal Studios, and it's like that doesn't get uploaded onto YouTube. It's like they know that if they get hit with the DMCA from a big player, it's bad for them. But if they get hit by a YouTuber or like somebody on their like financial level or below them, they know that they can win in the legal system.
Yeah. No,
you know?
I super don't believe that.
If that was the case, why didn't they re-upload? Why didn't xQc upload the Dark Knight to his channel?
Wait. No. I don't think anybody wants to fuck around with DMCAs with anybody. I think if you were a small content creator and you rightfully DMCA'd xQc, I don't think he'd fight it. I think he would eat the strike and just move on.
Yeah, but he definitely understands that there's got to be a dramatic difference between like the Dark Knight and someone's video on YouTube.
Well, there is, because those people enforce their copyrights more aggressively. But like, just imagine that. And I'm like, you guys, I feel like we all know this, right? Just if you think about the upsides and downsides as a creator, like imagine you do that. Imagine some smaller content creator like legitimately DMCA's your shit. And you're like, you know what? Fuck this guy. Take him to court. Let's see if he takes me to court. And then you counterclaim. And then you wake up the next morning and this dude's on Twitter with 50,000 likes saying, Destiny counterclaim my legitimate content that he stole and uploaded on YouTube. I only make $600 a month. Can you guys please donate to me? By the way, I'm black and trans. Like, bro, your career is over. That guy's going to raise like 50 billion fucking dollars to bury you and your entire family and your children's children in legal costs. I just don't think any streamer would risk it. It would be over. If somebody legitimately is DMCAing you, I don't think you're ever counterclaiming. You're just going to eat the strike and move on. Now, if I'm wrong, fuck it, dude. Listen, you know what? Listen, Mutahar, hello? You hearing me?
Yeah.
If I'm wrong on that, okay? If there is a small streamer that legitimately DMCA is a large streamer, and that streamer counterclaims, and it's like an obvious, blatant fucking content rip, I will donate $10,000 to their fucking litigation, okay? I will make that commitment.
I'll donate 10 grand to the litigation,
There
too.
you go, okay? You got the, right here, you got the fuck React Streamers litigation fund, 20K deep already, okay? Yeah, I don't think it'll happen, but here you go. You take this one to the bank, react to it, Dark Viper, you can store this in your adult diaper right here, boom, okay? 20,000, so, yeah. I think Abba was saying something before I cut him off. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I didn't see nothing.
Oh.
You on board
like
recalling
beef
it
with
theft?
Viper or something? I don't know this. I like both of you guys, so I'm like, you guys have beef with Viper or whatever?
All I heard is he wears adult diapers, which I was really lost by.
Oh, Destiny clearly likes Dark Viper. He's very friendly with him.
Does he actually wear adult diapers? Is that fine?
Let me tell you this.
Dark Viper,
Dark Viper, he actually thinks that the Matrix Reloaded and Revolutions were both better than the first Matrix. That's all you need to know about Dark Viper, okay?
Okay, that's... It makes it difficult to treat him as human, but we can, I think. We can get through this.
I thought Matrix 4 was peak.
Jesus Christ.
Oh my God. I was so ready to give a contrarian take on that movie. I watched like after the first 20 or 30 minutes, I was like, you know what? I don't think this will be as bad as people said it was. And then I think it was like around time 7 or 8, Neo used that like weird boom move, and I was like, this is the dumbest movie I've ever seen in my life. I lost hope for giving my contrarian take.
It was awful. But it was self-aware, therefore good.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you guys a different question. So what is a point where you feel like a reaction is transformative? Because I feel like that's fairly... I don't think it's completely subjective, but I think there's some element of it. So I'm curious for you guys, what point do you feel like a reaction or even streamers having that on screen is acceptable?
Probably go with like the legal definitions of fair use are pretty strong for what makes something transformed.
Yeah, the four-prong
like
test is pretty strong.
Well,
I kind of look at the way that, you know, the H3 golden era almost, when he was doing like reaction content, I kind of look at that as like almost the peak of it. You know, enough where like I go back to like watching the previous video, or like, you know, I actually dig deeper into the content, I guess.
Okay, so if you want to watch the original, then you feel like it's acceptable?
Well, that's the issue. A transformative thing won't necessarily. Like, there are going to be some transformatives that'll make you never want to watch the original.
I think sometimes they can replace them, but it's ethical. Like,
I mean, the replacement in the sense that the video stands on its own. Like, there's enough,
Yeah, like
content.
you wouldn't need to see the original because maybe it's a video about something that happened and then you cover it and you give way more information, like dwarfing it.
Yeah.
This is why I said,
It also
like, we
really
need
depends
more
on the kind of
physical
content
context.
that you're reacting to as well too. I was reading in the Stanford Legal Dictionary that when it comes to fictional versus non-fictional events, obviously there's a lot more leeway given, and that's why like a lot of news reactions and a lot of people who cover the news or discuss politics get away with a lot more because they're in the covering of real events, and it's more leeway in terms of news reporting in terms of the fair use angle. So I don't know, man. There's a lot of tests. It depends on what kind of content, but
Well, I
you
assume we
ask
all
me.
concede it's a blurry line where it actually exists. It's complicated. It can go one way or the other really easily, depending on how much people are saying and what they're saying. Because, a lot of people go by time code, right? Like, if the original's 20 minutes and yours is 50, yeah, that seems like it
I mean,
should
when
be
people
probably
say,
okay.
like, if it's a 20-minute video, but the reaction is 50 minutes, I'd argue what is the content, like, what is the nature of the commentary? If it's just, like, screaming into the fucking void, like, obviously not. But if it's, let's say, like, an engineer reacts to, like, an actual engineering, fucking...
Absolutely, yeah. Well, and there's a
like,
huge industry right now with shorts and everything else where someone will just re-upload a short and then put their face there pointing to the thing and being like, I think this is interesting, and now it's on their channel and they get all the revenue for it, and it's insane.
Is there any revenue? Oh, I'm not even going to ask about that. But I was going to say, if I see a number on YouTube and I see like 70 or 80% of the original content is like the length of the video, like that always makes me kind of jump out a little bit. I'm like, how did you watch 80 to... How is 80% of your video someone else's video? I think that's when it gets a little bit weird.
Damn.
But that's just a number, and obviously there's other factors.
I mean, I've seen it happen. Hasan is one of the worst for it, while also being one of the best. He's like one of the better reactions at his best. I don't appreciate the commentary, obviously, not in terms of insight, but the breaking up of the video and what he has to say in response to things can be really good. But then sometimes he'll just play it in full and doesn't give a shit. I know that Denims, when I watched one of her streams, she was like getting ready, having food and getting dressed, and she just played Kitchen Nightmares or whatever. They were just playing. And it's like, yeah, I got to get my audience in, I got to get them ready. And it's just like, what the fuck?
I think when it's used as like a babysitting tool versus like actually being critiqued, that's the real like difference. I think that's what kind of burns people, Like I'd never like Destiny is you react to a lot of stuff, but I've seen reactions and like everything is always related to political stuff or
well, that's what you see uploaded on my YouTube channel, but my stream sometimes it's literally just babysitting time. Yeah, depending on what I throw out.
At least you admit at least you admit it. No, but like what's up with the thing, right?
Yeah.
Like I've maintained it. I'm like, if you stream, if you're watching something on a live stream, right? I don't think that's inherently bad. I defend, but like when you're uploading it to the same platform and competing it with the same metadata, that's when it gets a little bit hazy.
I'd still probably push against streaming that.
Yeah, I mean, everyone has a different like tolerance to it.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you, explain the ad block argument to me, because you're just like, ad block is way worse. So why aren't people concerned about that? Is that what you're saying?
Oh yeah, it's surprising to me how many people are so keen to defend adblock when I feel like adblock is the #1 source of like depriving creators of revenue of like anything that exists on the internet. But people seem to not care about adblock at all, which I think is kind of funny. But
I don't know, maybe I'm weird about this, but I don't expect like every viewer to provide me with financials or some kind of financial return when they're using this stuff. It's like when I see YouTube premium revenue, I don't get excited because I know it's less than ad revenue. So I always feel like people, either by watching or those who can afford to watch ads or who don't mind watching ads, they contribute. It's like, some people don't pay for the Patreon. Like I'm perfectly fine with people enjoying the experience, not having to participate at every level or every tier financially. For me, that feels like very distinctly different than someone else ripping my content and then re-uploading it for their own financial gain. Like, is one worse for me financially? Sure. But I don't think I have the expectation that everyone who watches my videos are going to be contributing to me financially.
I guess that's just really weird for me because then like the entire position is that you're not actually ever upset that you're losing something. You're just mad that somebody else is gaining something with your work.
Generally,
is that not valid though?
No, I don't know. Is it?
Yeah, I feel like we get mad at a lot of different things that people do in life that don't necessarily affect us whatsoever, just because we see it as being a negative. Well, I don't think I have necessarily got an issue with that, but yeah, I'm with you on we need to be clear on what thing we're tackling at any one time.
Yeah. I'm not thinking about the harm. Like, if I'm being very honest with you, when I go to my copyright section, I look at a lot of people re-uploading my stuff. I think like the vast majority of them are not making a substantial amount of money off of it. To me, I feel like someone's stealing the work that I did for their own gain, and that's what pisses me off, even if it's a small amount. But it's not about it's not the financial loss that I'm pissed about. That's not that.
Interesting. I guess I wouldn't, like, if I was losing money because of something somebody was doing, that would probably bother me. But if people are just making money off what I'm doing, but I'm not losing anything for it, I don't know why I would care.
Sorry, repeat that.
If somebody's gaining off of my stuff, but I'm not losing anything off of it, I don't know why I would care.
No, they are the gaining portion of it does matter a bit, but it's not a lot. It's not the most. For me, it's the fact that they're really stealing it. Even if I'm not negatively impacted, for me, it's like a principle thing as well that really bothers me about it. Yeah, I think as a content creator,
you're a socialist. You're okay with sharing the fucking.
I mean, yeah, if there's a way that people could use my content and then everybody becomes millionaires, like I guess I wouldn't be too mad about that. But to me, if you do stuff for your own content, you make an effort or you put in thoughts, and then it's like your ideas. How would you feel if everybody was just ripping off your takes without ever crediting you or ever doing that?
I think a lot of people do.
People don't do that already.
Hold on. I know some people do, but if it happened enough where people were even getting a lot of notoriety or fame off it, would it not bother you to some degree?
Yeah, it does bother me. I get hella triggered when people do that on shows and they don't fucking credit me.
Yeah, but I see you complaining here in your chat all the time. Oh my God, here comes a Destiny take. All right.
True. Although I will say generally, well, actually, no, hold on. I'll fight against that. I'll qualify that a little bit. Generally, that only triggers me when the person ripping my view also shits on me and like calls me a fascist or something. That's usually when it triggers me. Or if somebody does a really poor job at representing a view. So like if I feel strongly about a particular argument and then somebody else represents that argument, but they do a really bad job and now that argument looks worse, those are actually the only two times it triggers me, I think, yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, then I'll engage a lot of plagiarism in that case without any issues.
Well, anybody else? Anything else? This is your time to shine, guys.
No. I honestly don't think it's that big of a deal.
I think that's kind of the thing that like probably is the most annoying is that like the level of emotional outrage I feel like doesn't match what's happening. Like I think it's fair to get annoyed at influencer culture or streamers acting entitled or being lazy and making too much money. I think those are all like fair things to get upset about. But the level of outrage seems like a massive crime has been committed, and I don't understand how people can be so fucking mad.
I still think this is a
to be fair, a lot of yesterday was just me getting mad at the fucking responses I was getting from xQc. I was like, there's just no way like
yeah,
I
which
have
makes
to
sense,
argue
but
like this.
This has been going on for like years and years and years. People like it comes up every once in a while and everyone's like, oh, is this still happening? And like I think they get angrier every time. I partly think that's very much to do with that.
I just think the chest beating behavior that I had to witness yesterday kind of fucking like that rubbed me off a little.
Nah, that's not what it is. Be honest, Muta. You think xQc kind of fucking lazy, and you know what? He's not entirely deserving of his following. Be honest.
Ooh.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, I definitely get that vibe as well too. But it's like the chest beating when you think you're right, and like you're trying to like say little bro to me and all this fucking stupid shit, and like all these Reddit insults. Yeah, it's gonna piss me off a little bit. I'm gonna get personally invested. Yeah.
Damn. Reddit insults. He says.
I mean, it is like, dude, Reddit is down the hall to the left. That's the entire fucking response that I was getting. It was like the guy was not trying to understand what I was saying, and that's just, it's like that. I think that also like that. I don't know, but shit, that pisses you off too, right? Like, I think that pisses everyone in this room off if we get shit like that.
Wait, what did he say? I have no idea.
Well, he was like trying to fucking come at me. He's like, hey, little bro, hey, listen, soy boy, listen, you don't understand what's going on. You made this out of jealousy, this post. And I'm like, I'm actually talking about impression cannibalization, which is a real thing on this platform. I literally was like giving my point out there, and the guy was like bringing it all the way back to like, oh, you know, it's all about money. You're making a money argument. I'm like, dude, I didn't make a money argument, period, about this situation. I could give less of a shit. Like, even in a discussion, I'm like, we're both very well-off individuals. It's not really about the money. It's about the long-term channel growth and, like, again, the principle of it all, right?
I see. I think I might actually agree with xQc. I don't think it's entirely jealousy, but I do think a lot of this is just based off the fact that these are big content creators who appear to be lazy. And I think it just rubs them the wrong way. I don't think it really has that much of a negative impact on the creators originally.
And this is my...
And that's my honest opinion. I really don't think it has a real substantial impact on the creators that are being quote-unquote leeched off of. I think a lot of it's just xQc and Sniper SS Wolf look lazy, and they're making so much fucking money off it.
Yeah, I agree with that take 100%. And that's why I said, I think that was the first thing I said here. I don't know if I said it to you or I might have said it to Mauler, but like if people were just like, I think it's fucking wild that a guy can sit in front of his fucking computer and have 20,000, 10,000 people watching, and then he cashes out $10,000 for the fucking day watching videos that other people spent like 6 months making. That's understandable. That I can totally see people getting ticked off at that. That's fine. But the virtue signaling comes in when they're like, "You're destroying small creators." I'm like, no, probably not. It's probably not happening. Okay. But if you're mad because people are being lazy and they get paid way too much for entertainment-related jobs, I get that. I think that's fair. But yeah, people hype it out into so much more, I think.
Well, so do you consider it unethical or not then?
Do I consider it unethical?
Yeah.
Is it unethical?
Like, it's an easy yes for me.
Yeah, it is. Which is not a big deal, but it's unethical. But
I think I'm like 50-50 totally on the fence about it. I think I could be pushed over one way or another. Here's what I will say. If creators make their will known that they don't like it and if people do it, it's 100% unethical. But if there's no harm being done to anybody and the people don't even care or even know about it, is it unethical at that point? I don't know. I'm not sure.
Do you think xQc and Hasan give a single shit, whether or not it's harmful?
Do they give a shit?
The answer is no.
Probably not. Well,
I don't think they can afford.
I don't think they give a shit. But I think if creators were complaining about it, I think they'd stop just for the optics, right?
Yeah, but exactly. Mm-hmm. So it's really like from their POV, they're just going to gain for as long as they can gain. Like as soon as they can't, they'll be like, fuck it, whatever. They never cared about any of these people.
Probably true, but that's true of all of us on the internet, if we're being honest, right?
No, that's not true of me.
You don't
fuck
think
that
so?
shit.
I think people play dangerous games with copyright, especially on the internet, since the inception of the internet. Yeah.
I want to give Muta a chance to defend himself. You really feel like there's a real financial implication for some of this reaction stuff? Because I feel like we all been arguing this, and we kind of maybe disagree on you at that point. But I want to hear you make that case.
I honestly believe, like, so when I talk about long-term channel growth, obviously, yes, part of that comes with money, and there may be a financial loss that's implicated from somebody that gets consistently reacted to, and there's no organic growth headed to their end. When I think about, like, impressions, right, like a finite group of impressions, every time I go into the homepage or the recommended tab, in the last the 60 days, YouTube has provided me a lot of channels that have had, like, 1,000 views, 2,000 views, right? And I've seen channels go from, like, 200 subscribers to like 20, 30,000 subscribers with really good attrition rates because the kind of subscribers that they're building are organically pushed to them by YouTube because they're capable of like analyzing, you know, what kind of content works for me. You know, like I watch a lot of gaming retrospective stuff and watch a lot of gaming, like these 2-hour-long gaming videos. I watched like popular creators first, but now I'm watching a lot of these smaller creators who are like 1,000, 2,000 subs. And I think when YouTube does that, it's really cool. I think it's a shame when that recommended slot that could have promoted 1,000, view channel gets replaced by a reactor. I think that's a net harm. But yeah, when I'm talking about long-term,
wait, why? Before he breathes.
Because it's usually the same video I've already watched with like somebody that's barely putting any effort into it or like adding any commentary on top of that, right?
So this is something that this is something I'd be really curious about, and I'm agnostic right now because it could go either way. So because I could see that argument going the exact opposite without having any data to know, like. What if it was, so like for instance, let's say there's a video on a guy's breakdown of a Dark Souls boss and how that relates to Nazism, okay? Maybe somebody watches a Hasan reacts to that, right? And then they watch it. The idea that if they didn't see Hasan react to it, would that video ever actually show up in their recommended feed if they're not usually watching that type of content? Because that's going to be the first question. And then the second question is, let's say that type of stuff never would show up in their recommended feed. Do you think that that being on Hasan's channel might make it more likely that other content from that person would show up into the recommended feed? For instance, if I react to a Jordan Peterson thing and then you click on my channel, now Jordan Peterson's getting recommended to you just because I reacted to him.
Yep.
I've never seen that in terms of cross-genre myself, but I think when it comes to, because you and Jordan Peterson are in the political space, so I think there's the algorithm might benefit the fact that I'm watching one political creator, therefore it might tag another political creator that you're reacting to in it as well. I don't know how much that works for cross-genre stuff because I haven't seen that myself in terms of my personal experience, but I'm sure it could happen. Yeah, actually,
I'm just saying
now
that
you
I
bring
feel
it
like
out.
I feel like both scenarios are plausible, which is why I think the data is like really important in this because I could totally see that. I could see like me. Let's say that I do the most egregious react to some movie streamer that does a really interesting analysis on Interstellar, and so I watch it and I straight rip it, and it goes to my channel. Destiny reacts to Mauler's 1-hour Interstellar analysis, right? Even if it's a straight rip, the worst react ever, the most blatant cover. So if you click that on my channel, now there's 250,000 people watching that. What are the chances notices then that in their sidebar, other Mauler stuff starts popping up now, and now he's actually benefited from me like doing a horrible react to his content, right? Now, I'm not saying that does happen, but I'm saying that seems just as plausible as it happening the other way around, or even more plausible, because I don't know how often random small videos are going to show up in your feed. But that would just be like
this is absolutely, like, I've already conceded on this, and I assume the others would as well. We don't know for sure. It's really hard to prove all of this. But if it were proven, if some wizard told us, like, absolutely the channels suffer, how much of a difference do you think that would actually make to all the people who are doing it right now until people make enough noise?
Again, to the people themselves, I'm not sure, but if we knew that they actually suffered, I think that there would be a big movement on it, and it would be incredibly unpopular very fast. Even if it benefited the viewers and the streamers. I think a really good example of this is, do you remember G2A and Kingwin?
I do, yeah.
Old names, yeah. I think those...
Oh, the key websites?
Yeah, I think...
They're still going, aren't they?
They might still be going, but they fell dramatically out of public favor when stories started coming out about how abusive they were.
Keys,
yeah, that got really unpopular, and that's something
that
benefits
and like
everybody.
I remember when I didn't have the money, I bought like a fucking key for Elder Scrolls Online through there, and it got revoked after like 3 months. It literally got advertised to me, I think by PewDiePie, like the website. Like it was like, oh shit, it's it was because it was like a sponsor biz, and I'm like, oh, game's a little bit cheaper. Okay, that doesn't sound weird at all. And then I found out they were literally using like credit card, or allegedly using credit card fraud and like a bunch of other fucking shenanigans to get these cheap games.
This is almost, we're coming back to paid by exposure, right? That it's good enough and that you should be okay with it. I heard you say earlier that, Destiny, that if you found out like they're going to cover your video without any commentary on Joe Rogan, and it's like, do you want to be paid for that, or do you want, just as it is, and you're like, I don't fucking need the money, that's going to be great. It's like, but would you do that in reverse if you were covering, something without any commentary, or rather, that offer? Would you ever give that offer? Would you ever say to somebody, I'm going to pay you an exposure?
No. Me personally, I don't generally do that, but I hold myself to a decently high ethical standard when it comes to paying people that I work with, generally, and I think that has been...
You think that's like above and beyond ethical?
I think it's above and beyond, though, because like this is what I said before, and this is what I stated earlier. The paid in exposure meme. Paid in exposure is not bad because you can never be paid in exposure. Because sometimes being paid in exposure is amazing. Paid in exposure is bad is because normally the people that want to pay you in exposure are either hardcore exploiting you or they have no exposure to give you, right? Like, again, like if Joe Rogan was like, Destiny, like you guys can come on our program, but like I'm not even going to cover your flights, bro. And you might have to pay like a $20 fee to park. Like I'd be like, bro, I'll pay for your parking that day. Like let me on your show, Yeah.
This could be a difference, I guess, between you and I. But if I was like the most famous musician in all of forever, and I have someone intro for me, like just a random with no like engagement at all, you can play one song and then it's all my stuff, and I said like, I assume you don't give a shit about being paid, you're gonna get big like engagement offers, because like for me personally, I'd be like, no, I'll pay them, even if it's literally like 50 quid. So like the actual like fair payment for what they're going to be doing for whatever the situation is. I want them to have that and the exposure. I consider that base level. I don't consider that above and beyond.
I wouldn't consider that baseline. I think that's a good thing to do. And I think most people in those industries will do it because we all hopefully remember how hard it was starting out. Like I know
I feel like it's base level because you are paying them for the job that they're doing. Whatever exposure there is whatever there is. That's something they get to benefit from. I don't think we should then reverse engineer and start saying like that exposure is gonna be so good. I'm mostly sure. Therefore, I don't have to pay you.
Yeah, I guess I feel like it really depends. Like it's just hard. What do you run that back on? Right. So like, for instance, I've milked a lot of content out of ABBA, and arguably both of you guys, or all three of you, I guess, technically by being here, like, do you think streamers or YouTubers should pay like appearance fees or guest fees for people that like come onto the
I feel like we've consented pretty hardcore with this. And also I'm recording it for my end anyway.
The artist opening for the other person would probably say they consented as well. At the end of the day, I think industry standards are what dictate what should or shouldn't happen in terms of the baseline. What you would think is normal or good based off of your wants or what you want ethically isn't necessarily the case for a lot of situations. I know as a dancer, for example, plenty of people do gigs for free just so they can be on stage. And do I think it's a good thing? No. Do I think it's a good industry standard? No. But it is normal. And I don't think the people who are doing it are all evil. I just think it's bad practice.
Sure.
And it's normalized.
That's fair.
Well, and to be fair, all four of us have the capability of monetizing this on our own channels if we want to. It's always there.
Yeah, but Destiny does bring on crazy, people who are sick and probably can't monetize it on their own channels and farms them. So he doesn't do that with everyone. Should he pay those people? Like every time I see Corantos and he's like begging for money, should he be paying him more? Is essentially what I'm asking.
Oh my god!
Corantos is your employee now. Sorry, I tuned out. What the fuck?
No, don't worry about that. Okay, that's.
He's been known to make some mistakes. That's okay. It's all right. Missteps.
Yeah. Well, listen, I think this was a good chat.
Yeah.
Yo, Mutahar, stop hating on xQc. Leave him alone, okay? Let him make his money. Stop being jealous, okay?
True.
I know, man. I gotta stop being a soy boy, bro.
And true.
All right, guys. Good talking to you guys. I'm gonna head out.
Be careful.
See you, dude.
See you guys.